Oh, trees. Richard, the auditor called, so you should have an email about. Yeah. I don't have that. He had to back.
Yeah, so I got a, but you need it from the bank yourself, right?
I think,
I read it a little bit.
from what he explained, because I asked him what it was, and he said that it's just, you write the account numbers and balances and things like that. Say. Statement.
You just need that.
Something. That was including me and I, of course, so I'm like, I have no idea what that is. Okay.
All you can do is try hard.
I am. Thank you for waiting for the journal. Now,
Well, we still have to figure out the other.
I guess we figured out the conference.
Just a finance committee. These are microphones. Basically, in the end where she talks about committees, the compensation committee was kind of continuing, so.
Okay, maybe it was, maybe,
I don't know.
I could have misunderstood it.
The truth of the matter is we developed it as an ad hoc committee, which meant once their job was done, it was
Right.
done. We have a finance committee meeting tomorrow. And I'll talk to Ted about that, but
Right, no, I guess,
6, 1/2 dozen.
yeah, I thought I saw like, no, just looking at these now. Sure, it's somewhere in there.
Maybe it was. I don't think it was wishful thinking. Though it could have been. So what's news?
News. The weather stinks. It's gonna be coming.
Just wait 6 hours, except the weather advisory came on, winter storm warning until 8 o'clock tomorrow. NC County and Leelanau County aren't part of it.
Really?
Yeah.
Thank goodness, thank goodness.
Yay.
I'm so tired. But still, it looks like it's still gonna be a little bit nasty, maybe into Wednesday. And Wednesdays my days that I go up to Traverse on the bus. I usually take the bus everywhere I go, pretty much. Unless it's someplace my husband's going to. But the Benzie bus is doing good.
Yeah, I heard you got a great new board member.
Mhm. And guess what? I'm your mentor.
Nice.
Anne's gonna be reaching out to you, I guess. She is going to be having knee surgery on the 24th.
Okay.
But she was gonna be reaching out to you with basically the news that I just told you.
Yeah, well, she said that she wanted me, her and Chris to get together at some point. I didn't hear any of that.
Yeah. Well, she works over at Crystal Mountain,
Okay.
and as you can imagine what kind of stuff people can get into there.
Yeah.
But she works. I almost want to say personal assistant to the two owners,
Okay.
I guess. Could be wrong in that statement, but that's what I'm thinking. So they pretty much keep her busy, and she said that she's gonna be working from her home for a little while. You're up. And she must have been in contact with me. I said, okay, no, that'll happen sometime. So I guess I'm gonna be getting a checklist or guide, so to speak, of what mentors are actually supposed to do, and that it would help me as well as future mentors. Because I don't know, I mean, I don't know if you feel the same way or not, but I joined, I went in front of the commissioners, they interviewed me, said, yes, we'd like to have you. So that's when both Jeanette and I, together at the same time, I did. But her term versus my term overlap. I guess.
Okay.
I don't know whether, it was probably meant to. But, and so then the next township meeting was held out in the bay of the garage.
Mm.
Just right by the open garage doors, so enough air circulation because of all the stuff going around. And we were handed this big black notebook. And then that particular night, we were supposed to vote on stuff. I thought I asked, how are you supposed to vote on something when you don't even know the material because you haven't read it yet?
Right.
So
Did you take those?
I've told Ann that I want to get away from that kind of scenario.
Right.
Because you can't expect us to come in and vote. You know, what if we said no?
Right.
You know, I mean, would that have jeopardized some of the things? Maybe.
But
But, you know,
at the
it's.
same time, you gotta know what you're voting on.
You do. And having 20 minutes to read, no. Don't work that way. And then, so that's why the mentor, right, your checklist. Not guidelines, it's checklist, that checklist. And,
No, it's out of my box.
I think, because she said something about emailing you and me and including that checklist, but tell me if you're like mine or not. I think that if you got a list that you're supposed to be going by for being a mentor, that the mentee shouldn't have that list.
Yeah, I mean, I guess,
Otherwise, they're gonna guess your next step before you even do it.
right, unless it's just a checklist of, you know, make sure he tours the building, make sure he has his binder, you know, stuff like that, but
Which that would be.
yeah. That kind of checklist I could see, and it wouldn't matter if we both have it or, cause, Jessica, yeah, she gave me the binder and I did a tour with her and Chris and all that stuff already,
Okay.
but
Um,
Okay.
was it Jessica or was it Nancy?
Jessica. Nancy was there, but
Yeah, Nancy was the one that gave Jeanette and I ours. And then I seen her give Brian his. I guess it don't matter, I mean, she's Nancy's the keeper of the books. And I'm going over, and you probably heard Jeanette say to you something around that, it's not a retreat. That we want, like a workshop.
right,
And I was trying to figure my words in my mouth. We want a workshop. Because the workshops are where you sit and get stuff done.
right,
It's not where you go off to, say, this motel some 100
Yeah.
miles away. That's a retreat, because
Right.
you're staying there for 3 days.
right,
This is not what things are doing.
right.
We had,
The terminology's not right.
no. And I'm
Shouldn't be,
changing
yeah,
that.
it shouldn't be called a retreat, cause, yeah,
It's not.
a retreat definitely involves like a destination and activities and
Mhm.
stuff like that, where this is just a workshop meeting. Like,
Right,
yeah, like we're gonna schedule one of those tonight.
are you?
Yep.
Okay, cool. So I can listen to you on how it's done. But what time do you think you guys will be done?
I don't know.
Well, the bus comes out after me, about 7:30.
Okay.
Okay, so what she's, her thing too, for reasoning of emailing, she's gonna email you and include me or copy me. Then we'll be connected for email and setting up any meetings or phone calls. And then her mom passed away too. So she's got business matters related to that while still working. April 24th, knee surgery. So,
Did you find out about the, self?
Nothing yet. I don't know that I'm gonna bother having Max's come out and look at it. Yeah, well, do we use that stove?
I don't know if other places, but I don't know.
No, I mean, the one in this kitchen.
Yeah, every once in a while, people that come in, they use it.
Yeah,
I think scrapbooking club uses it a little bit.
okay.
this is correct. Up here?
Well,
It's a group of ladies that rent the hall and they come in and they do all kinds of crafts, but. Yeah, I don't know, I just. What?
Oh, I don't got time to do nothing.
Yeah.
Because with having to go present this stuff,
Yeah.
Homestead Township,
Uh,
which is my township, it's what I
Yeah.
live in that township. Well, I was asked if I wanted to join the planning commission and the board of reviews.
Board of review's not bad. That's really only 2 long days a year. All the other meetings are real short. But yeah, planning commission can get deep. I think ours is meeting twice a month right now, so.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, I know over there, a friend of mine is on that one, and they are like, I mean, it's just all the time that they're canceling the meetings.
you went to some training
I'm like,
somewhere?
I went down
okay.
there.
Might be because there's not enough people there.
It's a whole week long thing.
So you didn't go that night, Wednesday night from college?
Yeah.
Oh, would you go? You went down.
Yeah, we left like
Okay. Well, it's like, because you were. And then Dave, somebody said you were. Confused.
I didn't hear her. And I just called Alex. And then with this, you know, we have to go. I looked at it more at part. So what I did. I didn't know what the other side was.
Oh.
So then that had this, that thing goes out.
I said, oh.
I like the warmer weather, but the wind is rather crazy.
Mhm.
Because we opened the door.
Now that I've had a chance to read over this book,
Life
I got a lot of questions.
All right. Well, we are gonna schedule a meeting just for going over that book, so.
Oh, we're not doing that tonight?
No.
Oh,
No, tonight we're just gonna, talk about how we got the brief, the draft for it, and then we're gonna schedule like a workshop meeting where we can come in here, and
I see. I'll put that one away then.
I think that'll take a while.
I think so. I got quite a few questions. Who the heck signed my check that you can't read the scribble and there's nothing underneath to say who it is? So if you have questions, there's no one to contact. Very interesting. Is this as high as this goes?
I think so.
My feeling low. Hers seems higher.
It's lower to me.
Yeah. Figment of my imagination, I guess.
No, I think,
See?
that's with ADP, but that we're gonna have a bigger discussion on too, because
Yeah.
it's not as easy as they made it up to seem.
Well, it's not like that. That one page says it's illegal to use stuff.
Fire truck manufacturers.
Page 18 or something like that. Yeah,
Not recently.
page 18. Right here in the first paragraph under definitions, but they're not legal to do so.
Things twice a year and stuff like that. We get to meet our vendors, our people and all that stuff. So that's really nice. But during the week, they also do classes.
First paragraph.
It's well, to go the whole week for the whole conference, exhibits.
You're not seeing it.
Right.
Oh,
I
you see it now?
Yeah.
Yeah, because it says right here, has no authority to process. So if it has no authority, why are we using it?
Township that I came from downstate.
It doesn't make sense to me.
Right, unless we have a policy. they don't have a policy.
Okay, what is this?
The date. I need you to read this one first. This is the one that. Sorry, it's not a heads up. I didn't have a scanner at home. One, two, three down there.
Okay. When's that?
This is all been done.
Holy cow, there's a lot of papers here.
Yeah, I think they're just,
Why is this here?
That's because I put it there. in
I
case
don't
you wanted it.
Oh, I can put a township key on it.
There you go. That's
Oh, I should have kept mine. Well, hi, how are ya?
Yeah.
All right, people.
Oh, yeah, man. How's it going?
We gotta start getting these things included in the packet.
What order do they go
I have no idea.
Those are the ones you wanted from Gunner.
And you've got more coming.
in?
No, you got two more.
Can we start asking people to get these done in advance so they're in the packet? Oh, we're not in the meeting yet. We'll do that later.
you can ask.
So we should, or they shouldn't be included.
Well, Jim asked me to print it out.
Because it just came, literally just came in.
Board of Review. Trace,
Yes.
I have the motions for the bank problem.
Oh, perfect. Because we can't do that.
That's
yet.
right, I thought about that after I had
Yes.
left.
I knew there was a reason when we talked about it. I just couldn't remember what that reason was. Today is tax day. I had to send my check in the mail today.
Tomorrow, you could have waited till
Tomorrow's
tomorrow.
tax
Oh, tomorrow's tax day. You're right, but I sent it in the mail today because I didn't want to forget.
Lost a day.
I'm ahead of day. It's mail time. I didn't. I know, but I didn't really lose a day because it's interest. Oh, tired of having to pay. I'm afraid to. They'll come take my house.
We will put you at the top of the reports.
Rose,
Yes.
the little thing that you have your little thing on is a microphone.
Okay.
You're probably covering one of the microphones. You can't. Don't cover it up. Don't put things on there. That's what I'm saying.
Oh, sweet coasters.
It actually seems to be.
After that last purchase.
Ryan.
we missing this?
Hmm?
Are we missing something again, or just?
The little white dongle you had, I got a new one. And I replaced the Cat 5.
Okay.
Okay, so are these?
All right,
included?
I'll explain that.
The dongle was good. The new Cat 5 cable was bad.
All right.
So Ryan and I spent close to 2 hours on Friday finally figuring that out. So we're actually working.
Awesome. I should have done my hair.
Me too.
So the soda price should be this.
Should have at least.
That is that, yes, I added these to that, so I'll
Okay.
explain it. So this is
Oh, we got extra people. Yay. Alan's back.
First check.
Some of the other
6:32.
gentlemen. Or shortly. That's one reason I said anything. I didn't see anything doing that because I wasn't sure if it was months away.
I don't know. Went right past my ears, I didn't hear a thing.
Final countdown. We're all here, we're ready, can we go?
Well,
I know, I'm kidding.
on it.
it's gotta be legal.
Did you get things done today, this afternoon?
No, not really.
There's the transcript.
Just for my reference.
It's clean, except for Bear. It's just hair everywhere. That's what it, oh. Yeah. It's right here. Okay.
Gotcha. What's the theme song to that?
Beverly Hills Cop.
That was a Beverly Hills Cop.
I knew it was for something, but I never watched that show, so I couldn't tell what it was.
Somebody else is coming in. Wow. Well, hello.
I'm gonna turn the hallway lights on.
Oh, yeah.
Do they start the
In
road
case there's any
stuff
last
tomorrow?
minute other people.
Not Sullivan Road. Down in Groveland.
Yeah, it's
So-
not the paving till next summer, but they're doing
They're
widening
doing
or something.
That
Yeah,
will, that will influence traffic.
yep. All right, I'll call the meeting to order at 6:00. Start with invocation. Heavenly Father, we come to you today asking for your guidance, wisdom, and support as we begin this meeting. Help us engage in meaningful discussion and allow us to grow closer as a group and nurture the bond of community. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Everybody here?
roll call.
Davis.
Here.
Worth here, Miller.
Here.
Brower.
Here.
Linsky.
Here.
All right, I'll open first public comment at 6:01.
Luke Swarnow, 16341 Frontage Road. After some discussions last year with the cemeteries, I'm volunteering my services to put flags on the graves of the veterans, in our township cemeteries. I would take charge of that if the board allows me to. Okay,
For Memorial Day, you're talking?
well before Memorial, or about Friday.
Thank you.
That's what I do every year.
Let me do it, I'll take care of it. It'll be done properly.
Okay.
That's all I have.
Are you purchasing the flags or would we purchase the flags still? Okay,
Flags.
just want to make sure that we make a motion correctly for that.
We
Okay.
have the flags.
Okay,
Anybody else?
So I'm not trying to make my statement personal or anything, but as an Inland Township resident, I think there's some issues that need to be addressed. First off, Jim, thank you for your written report on what you participated in and learned at the MTA conference. And I'm asking Mary and Rose and Dave and Therese, can you give us a synopsis of what classes you guys attended and what you feel you learned to help benefit in the township residents? I know you don't have to answer me now, but I think as a resident, I would like to see anytime any of you guys go to any training or classes, that report be made available. Come back, give us a synopsis, that report be made available, and we can put it up on the website so that residents can see what their taxpayer dollars are being spent on. Also, a couple of months ago, there was a lady that had sent in a letter requesting that the minutes feel a little more detailed. She only reviews everything online. And at that time, Rose said she was gonna try to be more detailed. But I'm looking at the minutes from the last meeting. Because I come to meetings, I sit here, I listen, but I can't remember everything. So I go back to the minutes when they're printed and available. And I still am really confused because there's not really very much detail in there. So, and the YouTube, is it working or not working this time?
It's working.
Okay, but, it hasn't been, so, to rely on minutes 10 years from now or 5 years from now, the detail's just not there. So, I think it would be very helpful if the minutes were a little more, just a little. I'm not asking for paragraphs, but just a little bit more. Also, when I was reviewing the packet, and I know that the packet has to be available 5 days in advance. Can it be, and I understand things come up at the last minute, but like the fire chief's report, the finance department's report, and I don't see one for planning, I don't see one for zoning. Those kind of all come in at the last minute. Doesn't give really anybody any time to review them, to formulate questions. So if they can be given to the clerk to make sure they get with the packet prior to the board, so that everybody has access to them ahead of time, would be nice. One other thing, when I was looking at the packet, the information, back in June is when Manor was here, and you guys decided to hire them to help get the accounts in order. Here we are, almost 10 months later, and I don't know how many thousands of dollars we've spent, and the accounts are still not, in my eyes, in order. I mean, when I look at the one report, I see negative amounts and checking accounts, which is not true. That's not a true statement at all. So do we have a deadline of when they're gonna get in order? And I kind of remember saying or hearing, and again, this is where minutes would be very helpful, that there was a specific dollar amount that you guys approved to spend to get the books in order. And are we close to that? Are we over that? Or do we just have an unlimited checkbook for them?
Public,
Is the sound on YouTube? Is that
Should be working. Ryan Presson and I spent nearly 2 hours on Friday beating the system with a big hammer, and we finally think we've figured out what was wrong, and it appears to be working.
I have a proposal that I wanted to present to you, and I don't know whether I should do it, how I should do that, whether I give it to you.
is it for parks or is it?
No, it's not for parks, it's for a community conversation.
Yeah, you can just pass it out now.
Pass it out now, and then maybe get it on new business at some point.
Maybe talk to the events committee too.
Well, we just got pushed this afternoon.
And then my printer died for a few minutes, so I couldn't finish getting printed. So about 5 minutes. Anyway, I just want you to take a look at it at some point and see what you think.
I'd like to facilitate it if possible, by, a series of conversations, of gatherings at Bendon Hall, where we would have a process for having conversation for everybody, and, doing some really careful listening, having some ground rules so we can talk to each other in a civilized manner. Because I think we're in a state of chaos, of course, in this country right now, as far as I'm concerned, and I think it's only going to get worse. And there's going to be a lot of things that we're going to need to do for our community to kind of help people out and keep us together. So I'm looking for a way for us to come together on things that we have in common, that we can agree on, and have some civilized dialogues that will help us move forward in that direction.
Any chance you can make some extra copies for people who might want them in the public?
Well, if you want to.
Well, I can't get up and do it, so
Well-
I'm asking if you would please do it.
Well,
You don't want.
If this is something we're gonna set
Oh,
up.
put it in the
okay.
next
we'll
meeting.
put
Got
it-
you, okay.
Yeah, you don't want me to-
Okay,
Any other public comment? All right, close public comment, 6:09. All right, approval of the meeting agenda. Only thing we have is we do have a guest from Benzie Bus. We can add, beginning of reports.
we also need to add under new business the cleanup day fee, because we voted to approve the day. We didn't vote to or discuss if we're gonna keep the fee the same and what we are gonna
Okay.
charge.
What are we adding?
Cleanup day fee.
Cleanup.
And also with that, we should include, because I actually got a call today asking when or why we haven't sent out postcards like we've done every other year. So just something else to, I don't know if we want to do that or not.
We'll just make it clean up. Okay.
Yeah.
What about it?
Stuff.
Especially when we get to it, I'll suggest something.
I'll make a motion, we approve the agenda with the 2 additions.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Agenda's approved. All right, consent agenda.
Well, I went over the checks today and found a couple issues. So I'm not certain if this meeting agenda reflects the changes totals.
That's what this is.
Oh, well, okay.
You're not the prepaid bills. But the unpaid bills is what you're talking about. And that was sitting,
Oh, okay, so that, okay, so.
And that's been updated.
okay,
Right,
and-
it is, okay.
and this is where I put the 20,000 for the total of the 37 checks that got printed / voided. And the checks that are still in printer land on BS&A were added by hand. And those are the check numbers that are gonna be assigned to them, so, and that's the dollar amount. I have.
Too many last minute papers again. I'm not even seeing it.
It's just copied down.
This is all my stuff. This is all the new stuff. I don't see that I have that page.
The question though was with the unpaid bills, Trace?
Yeah. What, she just wanted to, she looked at the wrong thing.
Nope, there it
and
is.
went with prepaid bills. That's all.
On the unpaid bills for, like, huge,
Where at?
you got it. Mary Miller,
Okay, yep, that's void.
15674 is void. It's on the bottom of the column. So,
Yeah, if you look, there were a couple checks that came in after we had printed or had typed in and started, and journalized them. So there's actually, it starts with 669, 700. Oh, no, I apologize. That's supposed to be, I got the check right here. Yeah. It's the,
674, but
yeah, no, 6,
that's supposed to be 670. I got probably.
yeah,
670.
yes. Yeah, they're right here.
Oh, I see.
Yeah,
15,670. Or James Clark,
mhm,
instead of 15,700.
right.
Were there any budget adjustments or amendments this time?
No, the budget adjustments and amendments we will
We're
do
good?
after we get our March 31, all of our invoices paid for March 31st. And then that way it will all, and I'll have that for you next month of what I did.
I move to approve the consent agenda with the addition of the unpaid bills, number 15,632 through 15,674, and a total of 22,157.95.
I will second.
I would certainly like to have a better discussion of the financials.
Uh,
What would you like to discuss?
No,
Well,
it's already been,
the financials are,
Yeah.
well,
it's discussion time.
it seems that we have, tons of expenses and budgetary stuff, and while we've got a good finance committee going and a good finance committee report coming up, it just seems like we're glossing over all the financials, which basically are the kind of the reason we exist. And I would just like to see more than just numbers thrown on a page and consent agenda and we move on to other stuff. Because I'll be the first one to admit, I don't understand all of this. I think our deputy treasurer has a better grasp on some of these reports, on most of these reports than I do, honestly.
Well,
Jim, I know it says here, after our consent agenda, we have financial reports highlighted. That's where you'd asked us to pull it so that we discuss them there.
well, that's listed finance committee, which is.
No,
right?
the financial reports right there in bold.
Oh, okay, I got you. You're right.
Yeah,
I'm sorry, I was
that's-
looking under the reports.
Yeah, that's what Jim had asked to have done, and that's what we did.
Okay, so you're
Okay.
just a step ahead.
So
Me too.
we'll just pull them out and go through them when we.
All right, we can do that. I can explain some things to you too. There are some adjustments that still need to be made,
Yes.
but we can get to
All right.
that.
All right,
You're fine.
More discussion, go ahead and roll call.
Worth, yes. Zelinski,
Yes.
Brower. Miller,
Yes.
Davis.
Yes. All right, financial reports.
Right, so do you have a question or you want me to start at the top and try to explain?
Start at the top.
Okay, pull out your cash summary by account. We'll go through that.
Pull out what?
The cash summary by account.
Right after this.
Alright, so I did ask, Vivian to change on here, you'll see, so we'll start at the top one, the cash checking. That amount, once we get the general ledger completely balanced, should match the amount of money that is combination now between, because before we were have to minus the sweep account, which wasn't quite right, so I've asked Manner to change that around. So going forward, this top line, the 001,
Mhm,
this one here,
mhm.
should be a combination of the money that is in the sweep account and the general ledger checking account. The 0, that is correct because I'm having her take that out of there. The cash savings for the park, that's incorrect, and that has been requested to be changed because that account should, on this general ledger now, if that's possible to change from parks, should say general fund money market. And the reason that account exists is because, I'm sorry, this could take a while, but hopefully not, is we have to maintain a $5,000 balance in a money market checking account in order to instantly transfer money back and forth between the sweep account and the general fund. That account truly has 5,000 and some change in it. I don't know why it says 7,800 on here. Michigan class needs to have 10,000 added more to it because I just did some changing. That's just so. Michigan class is the money that the general fund has in there. The sweeps account that says the 71933, again, that was closed. Or wait, that's this old CD. That was closed almost a year ago. At one time I had it cleared out of there. Rose made an adjustment to clear it out. I don't know how in the world it ever came back.
I think that appeared after Vivian sent that one thing. in
I
February.
didn't
We're
see
not
it on
sure.
anything that
I know.
she changed.
I
but-
know.
All right, so petty cash, $200, that's the petty cash that's in my office if people need change. The cash that's for the tax account, that's the $200 balance that we always keep in the tax account. So we always have to maintain a balance there. So that explains that.
Quick question on that. So
Okay,
you're saying that we're gonna combine the general fund checking and the sweep account?
correct.
checking?
So they're combined in the paperwork. And that's because that's our cash that's liquid that we can
Okay.
spend tomorrow. So it's gonna be,
Okay,
so because the only other way to set it up in the system is for that sweep account to show as a negative balance, and then you have to take that from because it still shows it's still part of the general fund.
Okay.
Does that make sense? So then you
Yeah.
have to manually calculate that out to know the true balance. So I want this number to reflect the true amount of cash we have available.
So we'll
But it won't
inactivate.
show as an investment anymore. It'll just
It's
show
still
as-
an investment.
I know
because
it
we're Still
is.
making money, but it's still technically part of the general fund.
It just,
And we're gonna get to that later on when we get to financial reports
it just
under the treasurer's
inactivates this
report.
account. We're gonna inactivate that account.
It's just on the
Okay.
paperwork here, so when you look at this, you know how much money we can spend.
okay.
All right, the cemetery trust fund, that's the money that's perpetual care that we are no longer putting money into. There's a little $500 deposit in there because somehow an account got shut down in the system. And so I had no other place to put the money, so it's there for this month. It's gotta be moved. Road millage is correct. Fire millage is correct. I think they have a little more money coming. I just got the money. The county pays us the delinquent taxes and then they collect them for the township. So we just got a check from them that isn't credited here yet. So that will be more money next month from the millages. So the fire equipment and the fire fund, close to being right once they get that money. Planning commission, right? I mean, it's right for the month, but they do have more money coming. Can explain that properly. General agency fund. That's the trust account, right, Rose?
Yes, that's
Okay.
trust and agency account.
And I have zero idea. That's a general ledger issue. That account has a 20-cent balance, which we always maintain. It's just a transfer account we use to transfer money. Tax collection, that's correct. That money too has to be dispersed to the township for that. So there's the general consensus on this report of the money. So that's a negative there. We did take money and transfer it from Michigan class into the check cashing to make that a clear amount because they were so far in the hole. But Rose thinks it's best because we're at the end of the fiscal year to wait and do a final budget adjustment to correct that amount that's in the negative. No money is bank account is technically in the negative. It's just basically Dayton's got too much money in Michigan class and not enough in that actual fund.
So as soon as, I
So we
think,
can either transfer it from Michigan class or,
and I think all his
make a
statements
budget
are
adjustment
in
basically
now,
how he
so-
wants to.
Yeah, and then we can fix that.
Cause yeah, you're right, that shouldn't be negative.
It's not a checking account issue, it's a general ledger issue.
Correct.
So, and
Right.
that's what I thought Leanna was working on.
But this is just, Rose, this is money that was written this past month of what happened with this 1298.
Yeah, but it started out as a negative 7,000.
Right, and we fixed that with the 10,000. We moved money to make it work. And then this, because Dayton did have a few other equipment, small ones that in this, so, yeah.
So we thought we had it fixed with the $10,000 and then
We did.
Dayton did do more bills that we didn't know were gonna come from that account. So we didn't do enough. If that makes sense. We didn't know what he was gonna put in there.
I have a question. Since we moved a lot of the little funds into the general fund,
Mhm.
one of the ones that got moved in there this last year was our ARPA funds.
Correct.
I just got an email from MTA. Is our ARPA report in?
It will be done next week. It's due on the 30th of April.
Okay.
Yeah.
Are we sure? Cause they said that there's a
Yes.
class tomorrow that.
Yeah,
it's
I
very
signed up for
technical.
that
Okay.
class as well.
To make sure it's done, cause we're waiting to the last minute and if we make
No,
one
I've done
mistake,
it.
we lose all our, we have to pay that money
Yeah.
back.
Well, this is third or fourth year we've done it, so without classes, which was a nightmare.
Well, the thing is, now we're actually spending it before we didn't spend it.
I just have to print out the payroll report that covers the dollar figures that was moved in, and that gets scanned in to their report, and then it goes forwarded to them.
Can I ask a nervous me favor? When you get it done, will you just email me that it's done?
If I remember.
Is there a way for somebody else to review it so that I mean, I'm really afraid that if we don't have it in done exactly every dot crossed or T crossed, that
It was fine last year or the year before that.
Again,
and
we're
before
doing it
that.
totally different this year.
We're not kicking the can down the road this year. This year, if we miss it,
This
they
is the end.
potentially.
I'm aware of that. I'm aware of that. And it is right there on the top of my to-do list
Okay,
before I fix the general ledger.
okay.
So yeah, there's those priorities there.
Okay, just a little nervous because, yeah, all right, moving on. Any other questions regarding the general fund or regarding this report that I can try to answer? Mhm. Dayton,
I have a question on the payroll summary form.
well, I have big.
Yeah,
questions
yeah, I
on
have a
that.
question on that too. But
Oh, all right, is this the time to do that with the financials? Okay, you go ahead.
Under my name, it says what my check was, I was told paid, that is incorrect.
Correct, it is. And this is the one I printed out after she had taken care of that. And I don't know why it's that way.
This total though is the amount that was taken from our checking account,
Right.
which also I have a problem with how this is all being handled.
Yes, I have 12 invoices. From
They
these
keep
people.
randomly taking money, depositing money back in, and we can't put our account at risk like that.
So she's going to call, and this is on the list as well, to say, how do I get the correct payroll summary? Because it still looked like this today when I went to get it.
Because the payroll summaries.
So this,
It's run off of what was done initially,
Right,
where then I wasn't paid on the correct date.
correct.
And then when she went to rerun it to pay me, she took out the overpayment.
Correct.
that we.
Yeah.
So this is an overpayment that's on this total?
Yes.
Yes, this total for my check of the $3,904,
904.
I didn't get that much.
No.
I got.
That's what was taken from our bank though.
But
But they put it back.
It was returned back because when they did direct deposit into my account, yes, I've seen it in there. It got rejected back because my bank didn't accept it because my
Right, I knew that.
direct deposit number, my account number was a zero was dropped.
Right.
First zero was dropped. So they would not issue me a check until they saw that money come back to our bank, get rejected, come back. And then she called me when she found this out and we discussed all the whole other problems of the overpayment and stuff. She goes, when I do your check right now, do you want the money that truly is what you were written for, or do you want the less amount, the overpayment taken out of it? I said, I don't want the overpayment taken out. Or I don't want the overpayment.
He didn't want it, yeah.
Okay.
Because we knew it, because we already knew it was a mistake. Why pay me?
Right.
So this shows my overpayment.
And this would have been taken care of on Friday, but she called me later. She had a family emergency, so this didn't get taken care of on Friday.
Okay, well,
Can I interrupt for a second?
Sure.
Just for my clarification and clarification for the audience, the she and they that we're talking about is
ADP.
ADP, correct?
ADP.
When we're done with this conversation, I want to come back to ADP.
okay. But I want to acknowledge that if this is not the correct amount of payroll, this is what we approved. And this is what we took out. I don't see amount coming out of there. So I need, first of all, I need the report I used to get every other month of from you, Dayton, from all of your peoples to match to this,
Just
because I
make
have nothing to match this
Just
to.
make a copy of mine when I bring it.
You didn't
We
give
don't
me-
do that,
Well, we need to do that because this
Yes.
looks bad
yeah.
and this is bad.
Well,
We
we
just
did.
approved an amount that's not correct.
Well, we walked through each line, remember? Yeah, and we just didn't make copies
Well-
of that. That's fine.
I didn't see that report, but okay, moving on. On this payroll report, aside from Dayton's being incorrect, we need an actual report corrected for the next meeting. Under this James Weller on here, I saw this too. He is being categorized
It's
under zoning.
under
And shouldn't
zoning.
it be board of review?
Yeah,
And shouldn't there be a breakdown of the other people who are getting paid for more than one thing? And shouldn't it be underneath?
I don't,
those
this
individual
is,
things?
this is what I had, and
But in our system, does it show that correctly?
our
whether they're getting
system
billed to the right
shows
place?
it, our system breaks it down. So you remember the payroll reports you got before?
Right, but this makes it look like that's not the way this is being done.
It's not the way we're used to seeing it.
So is it wrong here or is it wrong in the system? Do you see what I'm saying?
I
In the
do, and I
paperwork?
just have to find the correct report, and without my contact person, I could not find the right report. This is what I found.
So we're approving an incorrect report. Just
At this point, yes, because whatever money Dayton didn't get, what was that, Rose? $815?
Well, there are numerous,
Well,
There's
and
a
I don't know. if
withdrawal,
that's-
there's
cards in the break.
Because the way they did things, so we don't.
well, there's
Where's
like
the number?
8 different withdrawals and deposits in our bank
Yes.
account from them that don't match up to anything on this
No.
report.
I am aware.
Okay.
Yes,
So it makes it really hard to know what we're approving.
so
No kidding.
it does.
It's not hard. It makes it impossible.
Exactly.
And it wasn't for lack of trying, because I did
No,
try to fix this but
Which raises a question that I have. When we decided to go with ADP, correct me if I'm wrong, I don't think we put a lot of research into alternatives. And all I've heard is that it's been a bevy of errors. And it really makes me nervous that they've gone in and out of our account apparently without any authorization.
no, they had authorization
They
to do the payroll, but I was assuming that it was a one-time thing, not like that they could do this. So sort of we gave them, apparently.
And I was under the impression,
We didn't give them authorization to play ping pong with
No.
our account.
I was under the impression that payroll would be taken out and payroll checks that were physical checks would all be taken care of on the last day of the month. They didn't do that. They did it before that. So
I don't need all the details. I hear enough that it's been a bevy of problems.
yeah,
My understanding is that also BSNA, software
Yes.
package that we primarily use for our accounting, also offers payroll.
well, that's where I've been doing payroll from.
Well,
They offer timesheets and they also offer direct deposit.
do they?
And then
offer-
I print them, I print
Do they
the,
offer something that's more automated, like ADP?
no, still have to input everything, but it takes me an hour to 2 hours to input everything to BSNA and it comes out right on our monthly report for payroll. This, I spent 10 hours that week trying to figure this out and it
Well, my
was wrong. And
question,
yes, they,
my question slash suggestion is that rather than spending a lot of time trying to work things out with ADP, which sounds like it's a mess, which surprises me. Should we be looking into alternatives or just, I see one potential agreement, or you just use BSNA until we find something better? Because it sounds like we're pushing a rock uphill.
Well, I think with BSNA, we just didn't tap into the other things that it could do.
Well, that's my question.
And maybe BSNA is just the way we should do it. Because it does actually have all the options we wanted ADP for. It just,
I agree. I think if we're gonna follow through with the training for BSNA, I think we need to do the payroll program as well, and we need to go back to that and find out all the things that we've never known that it does.
and what BSNA offers too is I can write these checks and Therese can
Mhm.
go in and review them. The direct deposit ones, she'll have it there. And the written checks, I hand, like I've always done, hand them to her to review. So that's what can happen with BSNA. Is our two
Because they're linked.
offices can talk to each other.
Have we signed?
But with ADP, you can't
Have we
do
signed-
that.
Sorry, have we signed any contract that says that we have to stay with ADP a certain amount of time, or
No.
can
we can cancel anytime.
we can cancel anytime?
Well, I'm telling you, like, if we're gonna stay with this, I'm shutting down the bank program. So they better get their crap together because I'm not letting them continue to have
Thank you.
uncontrolled access to our account. Because I'm not okay with that.
I-
So I already told Dave that if this crap continues next month, I'm shutting the bank access down.
Can I make a motion that our clerk and treasurer be authorized to make a decision to go with BSNA?
Jim, can you not ask that as a question and just make your motion?
Well, we already have BSNA. That's the
Well,
thing.
we don't have the,
Timesheets.
if we don't have,
We don't know that, Dayton. We don't. Nobody's ever been fully trained on the program.
well,
Not
I
on
make a
payroll.
motion that we go back to BSNA and engage whatever necessary in the payroll program to make it even more efficient, because this just looks like a hot mess and you're gonna spend more time trying to unravel it than figuring out BSNA, which if we're going to training,
You want that all in the motion,
no,
so.
no.
Just make a small motion.
Well,
So read back
brief
the-
that down. Go back to BSNA and engage in the payroll program.
and whatever is necessary to make it work.
a second. So I don't like this.
So we can discuss now. So I think the motion should state that if we need to make an addition, if we find out we don't have timesheets to the program, that we authorize that purchase. Look into the purchase.
I second that. All in favor of the addition?
Right.
And then, do we want us to set a dollar amount now if there is money to be?
No.
Okay. All right,
I don't know what-
It's an ongoing expense.
yeah.
Well, the other thing with this program that I read in the fine prints on the side of the other, I don't even know what it was, something that you and I were looking at earlier. It said on the side that you still have to file all your own paperwork for your taxes. So I don't see
And I have
any
to-
advantage to this.
Still have to do all of the journal entries, which I
Right.
had no idea that that would.
And BSNA does them automatically for you.
So do you need to go back to get the motion?
Well, what did
about-
you say?
I didn't say
Or-
anything, except I seconded Jim's motion.
I just made it,
We go
Add it
back,
to his.
we go back to BSNA
Right, I've got
payroll with any extended,
necessary to make it work.
yes.
That's, and then somebody said, I second that other thing that they said, so, okay.
Oh, that was,
We,
We were talking.
Just talking.
okay,
we're going back to BSNA.
go ahead and roll call.
Okay,
I should vote no on this.
okay, I'm gonna do it.
Brower,
Yes.
Miller,
Yes.
Zelinski,
Yes.
Worth, yes. Davis?
Yes. All right, and then. is there any-
Hopefully we can get it done before the next payroll. Although I did like the direct deposit aspect.
Well, we
I
won't,
know, we can work on
that too.
it, but it's a whole another setup, but it's okay.
Is there anything else on the financial reports?
No.
All right. I will make a motion that we approve the financial reports minus the payroll summary so that we can get one that's correct to approve whenever that is possible.
I'll
I'll
second
say, oh, you beat me.
it.
So under financial, or maybe I should wait till financial. Go ahead.
well, we need to, we seconded this.
Yeah.
We
Oh,
need to approve it.
Go ahead and roll call when you're ready.
Okay, Brower,
Yes.
Miller, Zelinski,
yes.
Worth, yes, Davis?
Yes. All right, and then before we go into committee reports, you have somebody from Benzie Bus that was asked to speak.
Okay, I am Doreen Stein. I am one of the board of directors for the Benzie Bus and come to give you guys a little sheet to let you know what the Benzie Bus does and pretty much everything. And then, so what we do curb service, advanced and same day reservations, health rides, connections to appointments in Manistee, Wexford, Grand Traverse, and Cherry Capital Airport and the Manistee Factor Airport. We have the Crystal Lake. I forget what that one is. I apologize. And the Night Owl. The Crystal Lake Express, which is our trolley bus. And the Night Owl one that Benzie has implemented is to go around to area bars. You can call Benzie Bus and you can get a ride home, which we greatly appreciate everyone that does that. As far as funding for the Benzie Bus, 18% federal, 41% state, 29% local millage, 9% passenger fares, 2% bus advertising revenue, 1% interest income and donations. The millage passed successfully in November for an increase from a half to 1 mils. And we thank everyone that helped us get that passed. Because if we hadn't had it passed, it would probably be the demise of Benzie Bus. The millage won't go into effect until January 26th. And this is essential in order to continue service as state funding decreased 4% in 2025 and is expected to decrease another 5% in 2026. We currently have 28 vehicles, a mix of gasoline, 25%, and propane, 20%, and 1 hybrid minivan. Ridership in 2024, we had 112,000 trips, which was a record-breaking year for us. So ridership grew 12%. Looking ahead, annual rider surveys directing our 3 to 5 year expansion plan, expanding HR service to meet local and downstate demands, expanded evening hours to accommodate workers, additional weekday and Saturday services to keep up with demand. We're looking at adding a limited Sunday service to get all the people that would like to go to church. And we'll continue to respond to the growing needs of the community. Continue our mission to connect people of all ages and abilities to our community in order to promote prosperity and independence. Any questions?
What are your night owl hours?
I think they go till 2
AM?
Yes, ma'am. Or it's right around the time that the bars all are closing right now. I'm not sure what that is.
2 a.m.
And it's a great thing to have. If you want to go out, you want to have a friend. But you don't want to risk getting caught. So call the night out.
Maureen? Well, I'm sorry, I was asking what your name was, just confirming. Sorry, I'm sorry, you said, I didn't hear it. Okay, I got it right here. Thank you.
So you have to call like 24 hours ahead for the night owl thing, or is
No,
that?
ma'am. If you're out, you find yourself, or any, you find any other person, you know, if you're out having drinks and you find that I shouldn't be driving, give us a call. I'm more than happy
How
to.
far do you drive?
How far do they drive? Benzie County.
The night owl.
Okay, so guess
Benzie
from
County.
Benzie County.
Okay, good to know. Just want to make sure what my options are. No.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty limited.
Refuses to start.
Any other questions? No? All right.
Oh,
Thank you for
you're right.
allowing me to come and speak.
Thanks, Doreen.
All right, Ted, Finance Committee.
Just really 3 topics for today. The first one is to the board. So it's a follow-up to the call that we had with Anna Casaria last Wednesday, where they talked about controls and efficiencies and had a list of recommendations. One of those recommendations included roles and responsibilities for your finance committee. So I want to let you know, we're getting right on it. We have a committee meeting tomorrow where we have some responsibilities already listed. We're going to marry those with the ones that came with the deck from Bethany on page 80 for what the committee should be doing. And then we'll make our own assessment of what those should be, and we'll bring them back to the board on a future meeting. So I just want to let you know, we're tackling that one right out of the gate.
Okay.
Also, a recommendation was that we should be more engaged in some of the reporting to the board and to the citizens. So we're going to dive into that a little bit deeper and take this to another level for that. So just want to let you know, we're taking what Manager Starian is recommending seriously and moving forward. Secondly, just want to share mostly with the audience here, the year-end finish for the township and just give you a brief update on it. And if you have this, it'll be a little bit helpful, but the fiscal year ran from April 1st of 2024, and it just ended March 31st of 2025. And I'm happy to report to you that the township had a balanced budget. That means that its expenses were far less than what they projected to be. And in fact, about 56% less. So that's a good thing. The township was able to contribute to savings and investment throughout the year. The township also had some favorable changes to the way that they invested the money. So all good things. And I would say, if I could, this township is probably the envy of the federal government when you think about the shape that the federal government is having with their finances. So it really is a tribute to the township that we did. So
Don't let them know we have cash.
well, and then so the third
Right now,
thing,
unless ADP takes it.
the third thing back to the board, your new budget year starts now. And you went through the process of approving a budget for the 25-26 year. You went through some different steps than you've done in the past. You engaged some of the committees, you engaged the planning commission, the fire chief, to build a budget from the bottom up. It was a much different way of doing it than it was done in the past. And I compliment you for that. That was a different way of working for the board. And I think what it did is it sparked some good conversation between the board on particular line items and departments and stuff like that. And I feel like the budget that you approved back in March is a really solid budget. So, and back to the citizens, I would say that's a good thing because this budget for the 25-26 year that the board approved last month is also a balanced budget. It will also have expenses that are less than the revenues, which again will grow the fundraiser. So those are the three topics. Follow up on Manor Custarian, last year's budget, and this year's budget. So any questions from the board?
No, but I have a comment. Can I make a comment? So I took a class, sorry, but this answers Rosemarie at the same time. I took a class on investments at MTA. I did start my report. It is not completed, so I did not bring it, a written report. So I apologize for that. But anyway, in the class that I took, they basically said that this is great what we're doing for investments, but it's the lazy man's way of doing it. Because we have a lot of money sitting in there, including in Michigan Class. And Michigan Class put on this class, or sponsored this class. They're a great investment tool, but there are also better ones. And if we have money that we know we're not going to spend, all our money basically right now is liquid. So we should be investing our money where it's tied for so long because we can get a better interest rate. I started an email to you, but I couldn't figure out how to explain this easily in an email. So their recommendation is that either I look into that or I use the guidance of my finance committee. So I'm asking for their assistance to look into what things into. So we need to kind of figure out exactly, and this is where I feel like you can be of great assistance and Jim can be, of how much money do we actually plan to spend in the next year of what we have? How much money can we tie up for a period of time so we can make more money on that money, including Dayton's money for the fire trucks and that, because I don't know what the plan is right now for a new truck, but we should know that, because if we can put that money into a year treasury bond or something that makes a lot more interest than that, we should be moving it. So it's a lot of research, a lot of time, and I don't think I want to make all those decisions 100% on my own. So I'm looking for your guidance.
So I commend the treasurer for having the self-awareness to change ways of working and look at the investments differently and take classes and learn and then engage with the committee to help the whole township. So good for you, and we're happy to do it.
Okay, so we'll have to meet when we get a chance to talk
I'm
about
glad
that.
you're back in town. You can't leave.
No, you can't. All right, that was my comment. Evan.
So as some of you know, not everybody, but I stepped down as county commissioner. Over the last few months, a couple of things have come up at my day job that make it a little bit more difficult for me to get the time off to do the county commission stuff. So, and then I've got some other things scheduled. I wasn't gonna be able to make some of the meetings, so it's kind of the time now to step down. So I will no longer be serving. I think I'm on the books for like another week. The county will, I think they have 30 days to fill the position. They'll put it in the paper and advertise. And then whoever, if anybody's interested, they can apply for it, and then they're appointed by the current board of commissioners. And I think if I'm not mistaken, they'll serve 2 years until the next election, and then it'll be a regular election for the spot. So it's been a great 10 years, and it's been an honor to serve everybody here. So it was life-changing, and thank you all.
Thank you.
Well, thank you for your service.
And enjoy retirement. Well, from that anyway. More free time.
Unfortunately, I still have about 3 years.
Yeah. Well, you got one more night or a couple more nights free.
We have some committee and commission openings that you could, now that you've got so much free time.
Yeah, well, it's fun.
He won't take our calls.
He's pretty tied up with ZBA, right?
He's changing his number tomorrow.
ZBA takes up a lot of time. So.
Thank you.
Yeah, you are on.
So it's been my pleasure. Thank you all.
You can. Have a good night. Thanks.
Oh.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Fire chief.
Last month, we ran 29 calls. On the sheet is broken down into incident type. So there's 2 dispatch into the route, 1 unauthorized burning, 3 falling downs, 5 hazardous conditions, others, usually trees and roads under that category. 2 motor vehicle accidents with no injuries, 1 EMS call, that was labeled wrong. It should go under the 311, 11, 311 medical assist, and 4 building fires. Those building fires aren't always in our township.
Were there any?
Well, in our township, no, they were all out of township. Homestead had 1, we went to Homestead once, went to Elmira Township once, went to Green Lake Township once, went to Long Lake Township twice, went to Thompsonville once. For calls.
Oh, not for fire. Okay.
Yeah, that's part of our total 29 calls.
Are we still covering for, what do they got?
They're starting to have some of their people back that were injured, but we're still there. We're always going to help them.
Right.
But not as,
Who are we covering for?
we were helping cover Homestead Township because of, they had multiple people on that were injured. At their other work, so please, their chief had, replacement, so he was out for a while. He's still technically he's going to calls, but
It shouldn't be.
kind of. And then
Wow.
and stuff like that. So, and with their other people, just like everybody else.
Might not want to go work in their township, might be jinxed. So, thank you, but, so back to a comment made earlier, and also a comment I made, not knowing that was gonna be made. Is there any way that this could be sent to the clerk in advance, so it could be included in the packets going forward?
I can try.
Thank you.
So the 29, how many of them were actually in our township?
23.
Clarification on Teresa's point. Rose, what's the deadline for getting things to you so they're in the packet?
Preferably Tuesday morning. That way I have time
Tuesday
to,
before the meeting.
Tuesday before the meeting, that way I have time to make copies and
Packet 5 days in advance at least.
Just clarify.
I used to already, somebody did it 3 days.
So in the process of going through things, just like you guys did about computers, that weren't able to be updated to Windows 11. I found out that some of mine weren't, which I was surprised because I thought they were. That's why I hadn't. And we were going through and I found out some more information that they are not. It's our tough book that's in our truck. And it needs to be replaced, so security updates. That computer connects to the county for our CAD calls. And I actually got to meet up with our guy that used to live in the township that we bought our last one from, that had to move back to Tennessee last Thursday when I was in Indianapolis at a convention. So I asked him to get a quote because that's the morning that I found out that our computer wasn't capable of being updated. On here are 2 quotes. One is for one that's an iCore i7 and one that's a Intel iCore I-5, Intel Core i5. I like the one that's the Core i5 until I had a conversation with our CAD company that sells our CAD, and their specifications need to have an i7 to run it. So that kind of nicks
The first page?
the first page.
Okay.
To the second one, I really don't want to spend that much money for a laptop, especially when we get other ones cheaper, but how long are they gonna last because they're not running? Like you guys just bought laptops, you know, there's a big difference in price, and I have a problem spending
Well, it does offer more.
$5,000 on a laptop, because it's running. How many times can I drop down before but the fire, we're all firefighters are part of everything. The reason why I brought this so quick, because I just got this today, is in a Sonic telling these companies that
I noticed the one that they recommend on the second page is twice as much, it is 32 gig compared to 16.
right.
It has a bigger core. It has more stuff to it. It's got the webcam and.
It's easier.
Yeah.
Easier. Robust system than the other ones.
And the price differences.
That one comes with the keyboard. If you look at the
Yes,
other one,
yeah.
they're separated. This one is a whole package that they provide to
$712 difference in price.
first responders. Technically, this is a first responder package. I didn't bring multiple quotes because this can be considered under the MI deal. So this has already been approved by MI deal, Sourcewell, all those government sourced fundings where you don't have to have multiple things. Yes, it doesn't. It complies with our policy, but it also doesn't. It's on that edge of, if you want me to go out and get more, I can. They're all going to be the same because it's under MI, you know, and this is package for first responders.
That was my only question, is could we get it cheaper through MIDeal?
So these are for laptops to go in the trucks?
There's just one for the truck that replaced the one that's
Okay.
currently in there.
So,
Why is it, oh, so, okay,
yeah, it's just,
okay, got
This
it.
one.
Just checking,
Quotes on one.
I got it.
Yeah, he gave me two different, he gave me a quote on two different.
So the one that you're actually looking at,
it's just
Okay.
line item 3.
yeah, would be 5,279.
It's only $712 more than the one on the other.
And why are these required?
Windows 10 is no longer going to be supported at October 2025. So you can't get security updates, so easier to hack. Because you're not getting updates from Windows. That's why everybody's going to Windows 11.
I thought you had tablets in the trucks.
No, there's tablets in the engine and in the and then the
This is the
tanker.
command truck.
That this is for the pickup truck. The pickup truck and the Suburban have CAD, mobile CAD that we use with dispatch that are in those. I'm not replacing the one that's in the Suburban because at this time, because that is a county-owned computer that they purchased, that they gave to all the fire departments to have CAD. I have sent out multiple emails to him saying, what are we gonna do with this? What's your recommendation? I talked to the county IT person, and he's up in the air. He goes, well, he was trying to find out some more information for CJIS, for the lien, all that stuff, all the federal stuff. He goes, but we have to have updates. They had to update some computers down there. They're still going through that process. Will it run on our computer? Will we still be good without having security updates? Yes. Is it easier for somebody to hack? Yes. Do we want to be that example that somebody hacked into our computer because we didn't get Windows 11 and get into the county system? No, I don't want to be that person. I would rather get a computer that has.
How many incidents of hacking have there been?
The county's been hacked multiple times, and so is Grand Traverse County.
What's multiple?
Um,
3, 10, 500?
I don't know exactly how many, and that's not for me to know.
Disclose, right. My questions are more about the laptop itself. So you're saying that this laptop is so expensive because it's more durable. How many times have you replaced a laptop because it's broke in the truck?
None, because it's durable.
So how many, if we got a reasonably priced laptop, could we replace? Do you know what I'm saying? Do you know where I'm going?
But
a regular laptop.
One and just drop it and see.
Well, why would it be dropped if it's mounted in the truck?
Because it gets taken out to take pictures, anything, it gets taken out of the truck multiple times. That's why it has a docking station.
You use a laptop to take pictures?
Yeah, I've never heard of that.
Yes.
Nobody
It's
use a phone.
It's a two-in-one computer. So we take pictures of the scenes, right? So we have documentation and everything. So for reimbursement, for investigations of a fire, they take that out of the docking station and they go around and they take pictures of the accident scene and everything. So we have those.
I think I'm willing to take a chance on a cheaper laptop to see how long it lasts, and then, you know, unless you intentionally throw it. I mean, that's just my, I don't know.
And then we have to get a new docking station also. That the
Oh,
computer runs into. And everything else with it. This we don't have to.
I'd actually like to see a little bit more documentation of the need. In addition to just having reports dumped on us minutes before a meeting, reports requesting, you know, something more than, you know, a few $100s, I would feel more comfortable with some background information. 3 months ago, you know, you requested an upgrade to radios for encryption, and based on conversations that I've had around the county, wasn't really necessary. So I would like to see more of the necessary before we move on this. And I don't think a month's
What
gonna
were
make
their
any
feelings
difference.
on being necessary? That's all I want to know.
I'm sorry,
What are they saying that's not necessary?
for the radios,
Yeah.
that we didn't need to have them encrypted. We're the only ones that have encrypted radios.
Okay.
And are we the only ones in Benson County that have encrypted radios?
No.
That's what you said to me directly. So did that change recently?
Yes, I believe there's other people going with encryption. The county's in the process right now.
But they don't currently have them.
No, they're in the process. We don't currently have either. We're still in the process of doing it.
Are there towers here that work on encrypted radios?
All the towers have encryption. It has to be on the thing. All the radio towers? Yes. The radios have to be encrypted. The towers don't have that. It's the radios.
I will have to circle back on some conversations that I've had.
Yeah.
Because that's not my understanding.
It's an extra thing, yes. It's another tool in the toolbox to have an encrypted radio channel.
I understand that. I'm not sure that the need was there. I mean, part of this, I will say, you know, we approved a budget. You get to spend it, but I don't like the pattern of having stuff dropped on us for an immediate decision without much research. And you know, while Panasonic thinks that the tariffs, you know, are gonna increase the prices soon, there's also been changes in tariffs specifically for electronics, computers and
Correct. And I'm just
smartphones.
relaying what I'm being told by.
I understand. I'm just saying, I'm bringing more information to the table. And if this change isn't needed until October, I think we have time to have a more considered decision. I'm not saying no, I'm just uncomfortable saying yes.
Was there any date as to how long this quote would last?
I believe he told me May 1st is when Panasonic was going to change their prices.
I think that's a salesman's tool to high pressure you into buying.
And they're in short supply.
Yeah, and so I don't think a quote date isn't a reason to vote yes.
Especially if
Right,
it's,
absolutely.
Right, it's not.
But I've heard from multiple other vendors that a lot of stuff prices change April, May.
having spent my life in sales, things are gonna change soon.
Okay, anything?
Alright. We have assessor reports.
I would like to comment on the assessor report. Well, yeah, we haven't really had a chance to read it because it was just dumped on us prior to the meeting again. Needs to be addressed that we get these in time. From my quick glancing through his last paragraph on this page regarding the address problems that we encountered, I am really getting quite irritated with him and this comments. We got tons and tons. And he says, had he had actual, there's a bunch of lies and miscommunications in this statement, and it's really annoying to me. And I'm sorry. Of this where he says if he had actual, we turned over all of the envelopes to him. So he had actual documentation of that. This is a true miscalculation and misleading to people of what the problems were. Just want to let you all know that. We got tons of them back, and it says that, yes, there is some truth in here, the process of what the address changes is, but I'm going to tell you, and I can show you the proof, that every single month, the county equalization, since I started this job, sent Gunner, the county treasurer, and me, a monthly report of every address that was changed. The only person who didn't take the time to update their computer was Gunner, because when I go back through my databases, mine are all correct, Kelly's are all correct, his are not. His are who we sent tax bills out to this year. This garbage, he's trying to pass the buck on computer problems, and it's just, there's my 2 cents. I just wanted you to know that this report is not quite accurate.
That's disturbing.
It is very disturbing and very frustrating. The whole process this year has been incredibly frustrating. I did look into seeing if I could bypass the assessor by sending out my own tax bills, and unfortunately I can't do that. I still have to work with them.
Do we need to be on the hunt for a new assessor?
We are.
Yeah.
But I don't like this being included in the board package without it being acknowledged that this isn't quite accurate. This is him trying to pass the buck in my eyes.
That never made it to us. I didn't get one.
We just,
No.
Yeah, none of you got this.
I know, but it's not even up there for.
No, because it just came.
And if Rosemary has any additional comments later, I think we should allow her, because she too has dealt a lot with the address issues as my deputy. That's all I gotta say.
Zoning administrator. We have
Haven't
hired a
received
new zoning administrator. He,
He did none this month.
yeah, no, I mean,
You
he,
did.
yeah, but I mean, he is digging into things, and later we were gonna schedule him some training, but Mike Zelinski is the new zoning administrator.
Dave,
Yes.
can you talk to him, and can we get a more detailed report of, like, don't tell us how many houses are being built, how many buildings, and how many of these, but what's coming in next door? What's
Yeah.
coming in down the road? I mean, because don't you feel like an idiot when somebody says, they're building next to my house, what are they building?
Well,
We have no clue.
that was actually approved like way back
A couple
in,
years ago, wasn't it?
What's that?
well, it was last November.
What
But,
was
One
the
right down here. By,
pole barn over on 31, just on the road.
next to Thomas's, Ron Thomas. That's why.
Oh, that where they're doing all that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
What is that gonna be?
Just a
Total?
pole barn.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but
Well,
she
we're
came
asking
in because they were.
Questions a lot, and I don't know what to tell people either,
Right.
because
Yeah,
Don't know
nobody
what's
knows what's
happening.
coming in commercially and I
No, it's
think
not even
that,
commercial. I mean, it's commercial land, but
right,
he's just building a pole barn there.
Well,
It's nice.
I'm sure if you ask him, he would be willing to
Yeah.
put things on there.
Yeah,
He, he has done 5 land use permits since he started this month though.
Well, and he's also, I've bumped into him a couple of times in here, and he and one of his magic helpers has been organizing files like crazy and finding a ton of misfilings and filings.
Which I could have went to the filing cabinet and found out what was being built over there if I could have found the land use permit,
Yeah.
but I couldn't find
So
it.
I have his appointed secretary. I did not want that job. But we have been going through the files and we have found inside of files, other files that shouldn't be in there. And then we have found like duplicate files where they got a permit here and a permit there and they're not in the same thing. And I'm quite certain that that's probably a big portion of our files being missing problem. But we are organizing them. We are relabeling them to make it by section and then by parcel ID. And we will eventually get through all of them.
I think we hired the right guy.
Yeah, he's got a good secretary.
She's gonna quit.
Despite that.
She can't.
All right, planning commission.
We had a special meeting last week to start our process of master plan. And Sarah came in even before she's been approved by you guys, which is on the agenda for the day. We have a meeting next Monday. Did a notification go out for the Norris property? We're talking about doing a public hearing.
you didn't give me one, did you? I don't recall that email,
Yeah,
but it's just a public notice that I have to hang up. When is that hearing?
well, we need to mail out some,
I've never done mail outs. That was always the zoning administrator who did all those. I don't have a clue even how to find addresses within 300 feet of what you're doing.
I thought it was a planning secretary's job, planning commission secretary's job, from what I read, to
Not
do that.
recording secretary, but probably secretary.
Secretary.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so,
we have one.
so Anastasia would be.
So where's the property that you're talking about?
it's the property right next to the, on this side of the trailer park. He wants to do some sort of a construction storage area. And it's zoned residential. It was split off from the trailer park.
Yeah.
The whole thing was commercial in 2011, and we can't find any documentation showing where the change came from commercial to residential. So he's saying, well, we should be able to grandfather in. Well, you can't grandfather in because he's doing it something different. But he's pushing hard for a special use permit for that. So he's coming in.
And absolutely notices need to go out because there are a lot of people who are already upset about the things he's doing there.
Oh, yeah, that's,
So-
but that's planning commission's responsibility there, so. But we can get her the envelopes and the stamps and all that other stuff that she needs, that's not an issue.
Well, and if you can figure out on a map what the parcel ID numbers are, I can get you the mailing addresses or labels. Okay.
Also talked with finance committee to come in to kind of address one of your concerns about what are we doing with money? And that's to start talking about capital improvement. And really bring forth some suggestions to the board on what to do, and that would lead into what money is needed now, what money is needed later, that you can diversify
Is that talks of that, capital improvements part of the master plan? Are we gonna wait till that survey goes out, or are we gonna try to do something prior?
Well,
It's gonna be all the
it's
same.
all
Okay.
rolled
Just wanna-
into one.
okay.
It
Good.
is part of the master plan, and it is going to be part of the survey.
Okay.
Maybe based on that.
Right.
You, go ahead.
Oh, it's the beginning point.
Yeah.
Okay.
We have not been involved with the meetings, so I thought it would be a good idea to get that dialogue started.
As Jim just said, Sarah has already started, even though we haven't approved her. That's how committed she is. And one of the things I got today, that I think our last, Networks Northwest was completely missing. There is actually a statutory requirement that the township notifies neighbors, utilities, governments, and so forth. And Sarah's list was a little longer than mine. 16 letters, just like this, are going to be going out. And actually, part of her service, she's going to be sending them out for us, which is a great add. But that's pending approval, which should be coming shortly. She's on top of things. I mean, the level of detail that we've already started, just even in our first planning meeting, is, I mean, we made the right choice. So I know I'm getting a little ahead of a new business.
Those are just letters
Exactly.
that are going out to the
Notify
surrounding
all of our
communities that are doing a master plan.
townships. Yep, we're working on it.
Counties or power companies.
And then draft versions of the master plan will also be going out. There's a 63-day waiting period for them to respond before we can move forward with our next steps after that. So, I mean, she's got everything laid out very well. I'm very excited.
And I received a letter in the planning commission file in Mark's office, supervisor's office, which is from Networks Northwest.
Yeah.
That did exactly that. I think it was, I forget which township it was, but they were putting the notification out. And my understanding is our Networks Northwest, Zach, did not. So I think we got the B team.
Yeah. All right, one other thing was, I do have somebody else that to recommend for the planning commission. It is Renee Vassor. LE.
Is that the lady from the horse place?
Yep.
And the what?
BASS.
So how many people are going to be on the planning commission? 5.
That'll make 5.
Mary.
She'll be taking over Mary Dew's spot.
I thought Jim said you were.
Well,
Or were you
that was
just
gonna be
kidding?
my suggestion.
Oh,
Was who?
Our finance committee.
You want?
He can be the recording secretary.
Did you get to talk to the gentleman?
No, I called once, left a voicemail.
So are we doing,
We should interview them both.
I agree.
so this isn't gonna be a motion.
I just think that, I mean, I could be wrong unless you got an explanation that I'm just not aware of. But I thought you talked to her a few months ago and she's just not seemed really interested and not shown up. And so that's my concern, is her dedication to attending.
Yeah, she just, it took a while for him to get back to me beforehand when I did the initial appointments, so.
So I would be, I mean, we've gone this far, unless you guys desperately need somebody, I would, maybe have them both come to the next meeting and we can talk to them and appoint somebody, but,
I think it's,
or go to the planning mission.
since the planning commission is supposed to be independent of this board, I would leave it up to the planning commission to interview both these people and others that might be interested and try to fill the seat.
I think that's a good idea. Make your
It's actually,
recommendation.
it's the supervisor's responsibility to appoint the person to the planning commission.
But you could put your recommendation in.
Right,
and then
yeah.
we can
Yeah.
Take it or not.
Right.
Are there criteria?
Or do they have a pulse?
They actually don't. Because of the size of our township, we're allowed to take people from outside the town.
Criteria
Yes.
that they represent.
I thought with that.
Well, the idea of a planning commission is you are supposed to find as diverse of a committee as you can in the township. I mean, that is the idea. So you're getting a vast,
So many households, whatever it
Difference,
was.
yeah.
I knew we were well within that range, that if we couldn't find enough people, we could, but I don't want to go outside the township.
Yeah.
no, I don't think we should at all.
Okay, Parks and Rec.
I think we have anything.
First thing, can I request at the next meeting, you put me closer to the beginning of the agenda because I completely wear out. I'm basically done for the day.
We haven't got the,
Anyway, listen, that's just a personal thing. So I want to say something, just update on the Lamb Road park, and then Dave can tell us if there's anything to say about the other part. The snow finally melted enough that we could get in there and see, how things were going. We only got a few people over there snowshoeing during the winter. It was just too deep and unpleasant, so not too many went, but a few people did. And the trails are, we're in the process of cleaning them up a little because the wind, knocked down a whole bunch of little stuff. Nothing major though. I haven't found any major issues so far. We haven't tackled the perimeter trail yet, but the rest we have, and they're walkable and they're fine. The gazebo is still sitting there. So I need to know what.
we haven't heard anything back from the person who was gonna submit the, we haven't heard anything back from the person who was going to submit the quote.
And we only have one person submitting a quote. Well, is it all right if we, as residents, reach out to licensed contractors?
Anybody that you can find,
This is where I feel like it would be helpful, even if we just had a Inland Township Facebook page, which I heard somebody volunteered. I don't remember who, but that we could post all that stuff and then we can share that on Overheard in Benzie County and those kind of things. So we can get, so we don't have to hear comments back, but we can, I talked to my daughter-in-law the other day about this and Facebook, and like all the younger generation, she said she brought it up, when she's bored, she goes to all her community web pages to see what free activities are going on. And she does, and goes, you know what I mean, to things like or specials or activities going on to go to. And so I just think that that's where people are looking for information. I mean, how many people here go on to Facebook every day to the Overheard pages? None of you? No way.
So do they contact you, Dave?
yeah,
For information?
yep.
So
You can-
I have to say that,
Somebody volunteered. I don't remember.
Go ahead.
well, I volunteered my son, but that we got us into the discussion of having to have a contract to build this gazebo together.
Anastasia's husband's supposed to be giving us something to start.
And so, I mean, my concern, I don't understand why it's a big deal, because nobody had any trouble with having him put the picnic tables together or the benches together that we bought. I don't know why it's a problem with somebody who's not contracted, but who knows what they're doing, putting it together, because I could organize a volunteer force of people to do that, to put that gazebo together.
If you
It
can
would not
find,
be hard to do that, but they wouldn't have a license that says I'm a licensed contractor. They would just be volunteers, which is what the rest of the park has been put together with.
yeah, but they're putting overhead big beams above their heads, and I just, to me, it just doesn't seem like it's a safe thing to do with people who, I mean, I'm one person, I
This is a
just,
smaller
It's a very small
kit gazebo though. It's not a,
Can you check with our attorney and our insurance guy and see
Yep.
what liability we're open to if the volunteer team puts it together and I step into it and it falls apart and drops on my head?
yep, I'm meeting with the insurance guy tomorrow as soon as Dayton's done with him at 10. So,
I just think I think it's an important thing, like
It's a good point.
we're putting backyard homemade things into a public place. That if that park is really busy and you know what I'm saying, like, I don't think that's the way, I think we should do things professional. My thoughts.
Well, my son's back is out right now, so he's not really anxious to do it, but I
Right.
wouldn't have too much trouble organizing some young people whose backs are good and they could.
We'll get them and one licensed builder to come.
Find me a licensed builder then. I don't have one. I don't have one on.
All right.
My phone number?
And then I got, first guy coming out Wednesday to look at the playground area for ground cover. And then, I went through the whole MTA thing and got contacts from a bunch of different companies that do either the pour and play or wood chips or the rubber. Yeah. But, I'm gonna have them all come out and give me quotes for all the different materials and we can decide how we're gonna fix that. And then,
So like my question at this point is, do we have a plan that has been approved by the board? What we want to do, not necessarily the contractors lined up, but an actual plan. I don't think we have one that we're working with right now. It's too old. It's
Well,
two
I
years
think
old.
the planning commission is working on doing a survey to see what people in the community want. And I think that the park should be included in there. I think everything that we would, yeah, it's planning to be in there. We just did a small one that was not very informal, that most people didn't even know. Most people came in and opened their tax bills in my office. I can't tell you how many people did that. So they didn't even read the back of it to see the survey. So
A survey is actually part of a requirement for a master plan. And my push is to do one that's even more in-depth than most master plans have done in the past, certainly that ours has done in the past. So the parks is definitely a part of it.
Okay, so.
And in addition to just the survey, there are gonna be 2 public hearings, public work sessions to discuss all things inland township.
Okay. So what I need to know as chair for this committee is, first of all, I was gonna have a committee meeting this spring. We do usually have at least one meeting a year. We don't meet very often, to just do our to-do list. What do we want to accomplish as far as the parks go in this coming year? And we haven't talked about that Reagan Park for a while. In terms of that, we had a list of things we wanted to do 2 years ago. We haven't had that conversation for a while. We've done it as far as the Land Road Park. We're pretty much finished with our to-do list over there. There's not much else we want to do except have an open house, have an event that advertises the park. That says, hey, we're ready to go. The trails are ready. Come and join us, and maybe start looking at having a few nature walk, guided nature walks and things like that over there. Do some work with Lincoln Elementary teachers who might want to bring their kids over there for some things. But other than that, there's nothing that we need to do there other than trail maintenance, and I have approved people who do that. Until the fall. In the fall, I would want to ask you to support doing the trenching for the Oak Road. We weren't able to do last year. They did get rid of the trees that were dead, and they did a nice job of cleaning that up. The road commission, I don't know if it was Cherryland or the road commission, then somebody came in and cut a bunch of trees down on the corner of Lamb and Cinder. And then further up on the other side of Land Road, I'm not sure why, but they left a big, huge pile of debris right in front of the first trail entrance. Now you can still see where the entrance is, so you can still get in there, but they just left.
You can't park there very well, can you?
Well, you can park there, but I don't know why they left it right there, but they did. So
Because it was
that's
empty.
there. And whoever dropped it there should probably just come and get it.
how long has it been there? Because sometimes they do cut them all down. They come back and grind them later.
Yeah, I know, they did that to my street.
I have
But they haven't done that with those, and I don't think it's responsible. who did the work. Anyway, so there's that. I was gonna have a committee meeting. I was thinking of having a committee meeting at one of the parks. You know, so people could just come and be present. And I would think it would make more sense to have it over at the Lake Ann Park. Just have the committee meeting at.
You're the chair. That's up to
I
you.
know. I know.
I have a
For your advice on that, and also asking for your advice on what you think my role should be in terms of looking at whoever. What going forward should I be
Doing
doing
what
as
you're
a
doing.
committee chair?
keep doing what you're doing.
The finance committee is, sure, the finance committee mentioned earlier, looking at the Meaner Casterison report, looking at she kind of drafted out the responsibilities. So we'll get back to you shortly on that.
Right now, I'd like to see the broken benches removed.
Well, now the snow's gone, it might move.
Yeah,
Yeah.
well, we bought some new benches, so now we need to remove some new benches were installed, not enough quite yet. But the broken ones are still there.
Yeah, I think that's not a job for me, though, that's a job for our supervisor.
I'll get those.
What about your young crew?
And then,
I have a question on that asphalt.
Yeah.
Do you want it replaced or repaired? The asphalt walk.
Is it bad?
There is the northwest corner is probably the worst spot. It's where it goes down, comes up, and it's in a real wooded area, so I think what happened is a root got under there. But it's been that way for a while.
We'll have to walk
So
it
do we
again.
want it repaired or replaced? Because that would determine who we go look at. Because I have a guy who repairs, but he won't put down a whole asphalt.
Can we talk to both of them and get quotes?
Yeah.
yeah, I'll get
But if
people
they're-
out there to look at it
Yeah.
and see what they recommend.
It'd probably be a lot cheaper just to do the repair than have it replaced, I think.
If there's only like one or two spots.
Yeah.
But
I remember there being bad spots, but maybe I missed them.
So if I want to schedule a, grand opening over at the Landmark Park, do I just come up with the date myself or? Do you?
we can do that in our committee meeting.
Okay.
Yeah, once we get things of what we really want to do, then we can contact Anastasia.
All right.
Website committee,
I do not have a lot to report, other than I'm embarrassed that the website isn't further along than it is. I will be making some recommendations next month, and I would like to thank Rosemarie for her assistance in at least keeping the calendar side of things up to date. So, and I guess, quasi part of the website is, again, appreciate Ryan's help in hammering out the problems with our broadcasting. So Ryan, if you're there, thank you.
yeah, I do have one question on that. How far are we away from going to the .gov emails?
I think we could do it anytime we want. It's just a matter of establishing the emails and then forwarding I would keep the old emails for
Right.
at least a year, forward them to the new emails and just let people know. I mean, it's easy to have an auto response, or let people know as each of us is making contact that, please check our, new email address is,
Right.
whatever.
Yeah, cause I gotta order Mike cards. So I didn't know if I should, we can set one up for him at the .gov. Put that on the card, or we should put the old ones and just have them forward until.
Why don't we talk about that offline
Okay.
and figure out a best approach.
Absolutely. And committee left already, cause
I have a question.
gave up one committee.
I have a question for that committee. You guys put the property on Stanley Road up for sale?
Yes, and they said that when the snow melts, they'd get signs out there, and I haven't been out there to check, but
They're not there.
okay, I will get with them.
They're not there. I couldn't see how to get back to the property even.
Yeah,
I don't
it's-
know where it is.
Honestly, it's just the side of the other lady's yard.
Stanley Road.
I mean, it looks like
I
she's
know where
just
that is,
mowed
but I
it
don't know
all,
where on the road it is.
like it was her property, but it technically is the easement to
7
the
acres
back.
in back.
It was not
You
there
can look it
yesterday.
up on a map.
Yeah, it's the far left
It's
side.
actually marked as being owned by us, township.
Oh, okay. I'll
Compensation
look for
committee?
it.
We have a meeting this week to review the draft recommendations and we'll come up with some recommendations of our own.
All right.
So next meeting, right?
Event committee.
Well, Anastasia isn't here to give the report, but surprisingly, the Easter Bunny came out of the woods last Saturday and
I couldn't make it. I had the real
Oh,
Easter
I thought it
bunny
was
go in.
you.
No,
entertained a bunch of kids.
and the
And
real one show up.
And by my rough count, we had a minimum 60 kids.
Oh, nice.
Ranging from in arms to 10, 12 years old, probably closer to 75. Tons of parents that hung around after the event. And it was pretty hilarious because the official hunt started at 1:30. And I think I am not exaggerating. I think all the eggs were found by like 1:33. Boom, it was done. But, you know, kudos to Anastasia. I mean, it was really well received. And she did the lion's share of the work prepping for it and putting posters out. So it was enjoyed by all. Lots of pictures taken with the Easter Bunny, who mysteriously hopped off into nowhere when it was all over. So, but and I heard that the Easter Bunny is actually going to be Cupid come next Valentine's Day. That's what I heard.
Well, that's awesome. I think that's probably the largest number of people who have attended a party. That's great.
It was great.
We did advertise on Facebook, several of the over in. I think it's here, or put out there.
Appreciative parents, grandparents, little kids. I mean, it was a good time.
And the gas station put a sign right at their checkout counter. That was nice of them too.
Board member reports.
Well, I'll jump in. You saw my MTA conference report. You know, read it, and if you have questions, you know, you can reach me. I also, the part of the MTA conference is an expo, and actually talked to God, don't have his name in front of me, and I should have written it down. From the DNR State Fire Department, and there's a program that they run that I put him in touch with our county emergency planner. That it's about a $50,000 program that the DNR will fund to basically state DNR land in our county. What is our fire preparedness? So I put the two of them in touch. Don't know where it's going to go from there. And then another person that I talked to, which actually I'll be talking to him again tomorrow about, you know, this is before we got the system working again. This is a shoestring system that, you know, seems to be working, but there are display systems that have microphones that go in the ceiling that get better coverage. The whole thing, I was expecting, you know, a price tag of around $50,000, and he said it was more like, you know, 16 to 18. You know, so I'll talk to him tomorrow and see what we have and see how much interest there is in moving forward on something like that. That was the only other thing of real interest.
Point on that one. It's my deal also.
Oh, yeah. 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 Yep. Board members?
I started my report. I'm not as efficient as Jim. That's my goal in life. Become.
I don't feel like I've been efficient at all.
I did start typing up a report on the conference. I think probably there was a lot that I learned, and honestly, at some points they come back to me randomly, what I remember. But I do have, I took a lot of notes there. The thing that I most learned that I wanted to work on, I mentioned during the finance committee thing. So that was my biggest thing. The other thing is the bank recs. We really have to get on top of that. It is strongly recommended that they are done by the 15th of the month, and if not, for sure by the end of the month. And we have, you're right, paid a lot of money to get them caught up, and we're heading back the wrong direction. So I'm hoping that the BSNA training that we're going to schedule helps change that. We are working hard together to try to get it changed. It's just needs a little bit more.
Unfinished business, we have bank signatures.
Yes, apparently the bank wants the bank account signatures and the read-only access into two separate motions, so we need to do that. So I move to remove Catherine Kuznitsky and add Lindsay Miller, deputy clerk, to the bank accounts.
Second.
Go ahead and roll call.
We're on one now. Okay. Miller?
Yeah.
Zelinski?
Yes.
Worth, yes. Davis?
Yes.
Brower?
Yes.
And the second would be move to have read-only access on bank accounts for Roseworth and Lindsay Miller.
Read only.
Read only, yes. You can pull up the banking, you know what that means.
Currently, they have access to all of the functions of the banking system. It is not lawful for a clerk or a deputy clerk to move any money or to do anything. And so they can see it so that then they have problems helping, or, when to match their general ledger to the banking statement, we want them to be able to see it, not do anything to it. Currently, it's all been done incorrectly for years, and they have had full access.
I'll second it.
Go ahead and roll call.
Brower?
Yes.
Miller?
Yes.
Zelinski?
Yes.
Worth, yes. Davis?
Yes.
With that, I think we can do this under new business, but we did talk about it, so it's technically unfinished. With that process, we also have to work on creating a credit card policy, because I would very much like to, as soon as possible, cancel the current credit card and work with the credit card company that Manor has recommended there. And I also did learn that at the conference, there are many companies that will work with you, and there's many options you have. There is no township employee or board members really should not be carrying credit cards around. They should be, if there's a conference they're going to and they're authorized to use it so that they don't have to put things on their own credit card, you can give them a temporary card that's good for these days to these days, and you can track it and do an expense report right from there. There's no reason for them to have, unless they're authorized to make certain purchases. There's just a lot into it. We can get into it later, but first we need to make sure that we start a policy as soon as possible so those changes can be made. And there are rewards with them too.
Yeah.
Don't we already have a credit card?
We
policy?
do.
We do, but it is also done illegally.
It was open back then. They all wanted me to do all the stuff.
The credit card.
Are you?
The clerk is not allowed lawfully to
Yeah,
have a credit card,
Right.
and so all money is supposed to go through the treasurer's office.
So that's why mine stays locked up.
I am making a motion that I'm willing to do it, willing to work with them, to work with Manor and whatever other resources I choose to come up with a credit card policy to be approved at the next meeting and to cancel the credit card.
You know what?
Well, just do it. I don't think we need a motion.
We already
Cancel
discussed,
credit card, we do.
we already discussed
I don't
it
think we made a
after.
motion to actually do that.
and
We
No,
said to
discussed
make it, we
After the
said we
conference.
would discuss it after the conference.
No, we made a motion last month that you can look into in your credit
Well, if
card.
we had detailed minutes, we would know that. Because I thought it was
I
that.
thought we did.
One credit card
We
company.
don't,
Are
because
you
that really
thinking-
should be on here, because that would have been a vote.
It's,
Okay, maybe we didn't make a motion.
If we did.
Yeah.
I thought we said we will discuss it after the conference.
What credit card
That's what it was
company
for.
are you considering to?
It's a company that specializes with dealing with government municipalities and things, and there are credit card options. I honestly, I don't think she ever gave me a direct name of it. It's not like through a local bank.
part of it was called Bill.
Well,
right?
there's a way that you
that
can
was
do
the
bills,
bill pay
that pay,
thing.
yeah,
That was the bill, and then the credit card that they worked with was a weird name.
yeah, I can't remember what she said that it was, but I'll have that all in writing at the next meeting,
So you want that credit card policy?
and I'm willing to do it.
Yeah, is to work, yeah, she said to work with Maynard on getting the new credit card policy and credit card.
I second it.
Okay, Brower,
Yes.
Zelinski,
Yes.
yes, Davis.
Yes. All right, Planning Commission Master Plan Company.
You have the contract in front of you. Jim Park and the chair and I, and actually everyone on the planning commission went over it. It was a unanimous vote to move it forward to you guys, to us, for approval. And while more expensive than ones in the past, possibly, we're getting every penny's worth and then some.
Concerned with the cost of it.
Why?
34,000 seems like quite a bill. And part of that, when I look at the different tasks and things that are involved, like the base map preparation, we always got that free from county. And
but
it's part of the activity of what she's doing. It's part of the charge. It's not a extra.
okay, the task number 2 for A, the acquisition, the background information. All the background information has already been provided. Unless you're adding.
So you have it.
We don't have adding extra background to what we have in the master plan.
we don't have photographs and things like that.
So you wanted more.
And the demographics, we don't have the current.
She's pointed out several things of our existing master plan that are lacking. And not to go through point by point, while it's twice the Networks Northwest bill, I think we would have wound up with a wholly unworkable master plan through them, at least based on the direction that we started off with them. This is not out of line with other bids that we had in beyond Network Northwest. And certainly she's done this for the township of Benzonia. And I keep forgetting the organization gave Benzonia an award for their outstanding master plan. And if you pull Village of it. And if you pull theirs up, it's outstanding. It's going to give us a document that we can actually work from. It's going to include the capital improvement plan, which is the financial side of things that was definitely missing in Networks Northwest, that will allow us to really establish for the fiscal year 25-26 a solid budget and a direction to work for. Give us a strategic plan to work toward or work from. So yes, it's more expensive. It's a bigger chunk of money, which we have. It's not that we can't afford it. We're getting every cent that we're paying for and then some. In the letter that's going out, rather than burdening our secretary with doing it, she's actually sending them out. So she's doing a lot of things that weren't being done before.
Could you explain what the existing or hidden conditions are?
Which
It's on
page are you on?
Yeah, I think it's the third. No, it's fourth one. Back to the fourth page. And number 8. What is a hidden condition? Do you know, did she explain that?
Still not
Yeah, I'm not seeing that either.
It's number 8.
The terms and conditions, it's number 8, almost at the bottom of the page.
On page 6.
Oh,
What would a hidden condition be?
well, like the wiring in your walls. Can't see it. You assume it works. You assume it's good. That's my guess. You would have to break open the wall to see your wiring and your plumbing.
Yeah, but for the master plan, you wouldn't be talking about wiring.
Aren't you talking
Utilities.
about all your buildings and everything you own in your master plan? Are you? I don't know. I've never done a
No.
master plan.
I don't think so.
That,
Yeah, Jim,
Conditions.
yeah.
I have one. right
okay.
now. We have some sort of a gas line in the back.
Right.
Oh,
of our
okay.
5
Right.
acres that nobody seems to know exactly where it is, what it's doing. So I don't know if she get that detail, but that would be an example.
Okay.
of something that's-
Yeah, so most of our utilities in the township
Right.
are
You're right.
hidden.
Okay.
She's also not going to incur any costs without talking to the commission first.
I would like it to make a motion that we hire the company
I still have a
recommended.
couple more questions. I'm gonna
We have to make a motion and vote on it to have an open discussion.
So
So
we have
it's
to-
not been seconded,
We
right?
have to have a motion and a second.
Yeah, to have a discussion. So you're way out of order. So I make a motion that we hire the company that's recommended by the planning commission. Now you may discuss.
Now I have a question. Now, number 12, ownership of the documents. It doesn't sound like that we're gonna be having the paperwork and the drawings here, that they're going to keep all those?
No.
They are gonna make a copy for us, because it says that, that the drawings, the ownership of the drawings and specifications are going to be theirs. So I didn't understand that they were also going to give us copies of everything. Because where
We
and
get
then
all
some,
copies of everything. Her work is her work for us. We get copies of everything. This is a standard clause, within a lot of software contracts that, the work is hers. We don't get to take her work and then somebody from the commission or township or whatever gets to run out and resell her work in some way, shape, or form.
I understood that, but I didn't understand that we would be getting a copy of everything.
We get everything.
Okay, because it doesn't say that.
Well, that's what we're paying for, so that's kind of assumed.
Yeah,
Unfortunately.
but then I have a
Well, we
question.
don't, basically what Jim was saying, we don't own it.
Right,
We have it. We have the documents, but if we were going to reproduce it for some reason.
yeah.
we would probably have to-
Think of it, have you purchased a book in the last 10 years?
Oh, yeah. I
Okay,
do.
do you own the book?
No, but that wasn't my question. My question was, do we get a copy of everything?
It's basically this, it's
Just-
basically the
yes,
same
that's
thing, yes.
all we
We get a copy of everything.
Yeah.
She owns her work.
Okay, that's fine. And then one more question on 16, taxes. So it says, should the services be implemented, there shall be a charge of additional to fees stated, taxes for services that are not included in the fees stated?
If there are any taxes, she'll pass them along to us.
Oh, that's if she goes and she gets something and they charge her tax on the product,
It will be our.
then we
cost.
have to pay the tax on that product too.
Gotcha.
Because it's not included in her cost.
Okay, thank you.
Mhm.
Okay,
Go in roll call.
Okay, Brower,
Yes.
Miller,
yes.
Zelinski,
Yes.
Worth, yes, Davis.
Yes.
Training for zoning administrator,
And,
MTA
and planning commission,
and planning,
yes.
introduction to planning and zoning.
Is this a Zoom class or is this a class that they physically have to do.
Physically go.
No,
Looks like that was offered also through Zoom.
it's also offered
Oh, is it?
are you talking citizen planning
Citizen
to?
planner is available online. The zoning is only available in person at
This
3
is-
locations.
Okay.
But there are a couple different, this one, there's MTA is the Introduction to Planning and Zoning, which is in person, but the citizen planner ones that are offered through Michigan State University, they're offered in Zoom. So, and I think that everybody should go to citizen planner. There's a wealth of knowledge.
Yeah, it's a good course.
So they just need approval for their members to, and for the zoning administrator to go as well.
Yeah, let's do them together.
Yeah.
Well, I think we should do them separately because the citizen planner, you said you would like other people who possibly want to attend. So I think it should be 2 motions.
Okay, so, let's do the MTA one first then,
Yeah.
because that,
Somebody make a motion.
I'll make a motion that we allow the planning committee and zoning administrator to attend the Introduction to Planning and Zoning MTA course.
I second it.
I make a motion that we
Hold
come. Oh, yeah, I'm sorry. You're right. I'm jumping the gun. It's getting late.
seconded that, Jim seconded that, okay, got it.
All right, go ahead and roll call.
Okay, Worth, yes, Zirinsky,
Yes.
Miller, yes, Davis,
Yes.
Brown.
Yes.
So I think that we need to discuss and come up with a clear set of rules for per diem for the people who attend this. So we have no confusion at the next time. I mean, we need to put it in the policy
Yes.
thing, but we need to clarify it here.
But if this one's Zoom, so there should be.
No, the introduction to planning and zoning is not.
Oh, the intro to planning and zoning. is what
That's
you're
the one we
still
just
talking
voted on,
about.
okay. So I think, so this is an evening class, right? Dinner served. Breaks are included,
So it's
so,
just mileage.
so per diem, I just want to make sure we are all on the same page, because the definition of per diem and the state and the federal rates are for meals and incidentals. So if you take a per diem, it counts those, or it counts your lodging. So if we're already paying in this meal thing, everybody agree, it says snacks and meals included, there's no reason to pay a per diem. So I say that we cover mileage for anybody who, this is my motion. I make a motion that we cover mileage for the people who attend only unless they see any reason they have to spend the night. I don't see any reason. It's not that late. It's not that far, right? Gaylord's an hour and a half away.
It's 8 o'clock, I should be home by 9:30, 10.
Yeah. So I make a motion that we cover the cost of the class. We cover mileage and that's it.
So that's the second. So now I have a question. So the cost of the class would be the registration. what we're
Correct.
Talking about,
Mhm.
and then the mileage.
Yep.
Correct.
A second. Go ahead and roll call.
Oh, Mary
Oh,
seconded
Okay,
that.
then let's roll call.
My question with that is, are they going to attend without being paid an hourly wage or? what?
Well, so this is my feelings on that, and I mean, somebody can make a motion to pay an hourly wage. So per diem is incidentals and meals. That is the definition of per diem, except if you do a lodging per diem as well. So if I'm wrong, you can argue that point, but I don't think I am. That's how I've always ever done it. So if we're gonna pay somebody, honestly, to the board members, I don't feel we deserve pay. That's just my belief. Because we have all agreed to do this position for a salary. And I think that salary should include us wanting to be trained to do these positions to the best of our ability. I think we owe that to the public. That's my thought. Again, we can argue that. As far as somebody who is an hourly paid person, I'm not sure if they're missing if they're working already and they're going there instead of working, then,
No.
yeah,
Planning
I don't know how
commission-
that works. I mean,
Planning commission, they're paid $60 for a meeting.
I-
Is this, how do we, I mean, are they gonna
would
want to
consider
go
this
without
a
getting some
meeting.
compensation?
Would be-
if somebody's paying my tuition to take a class at MSU, thank you. You know, you don't have to pay me to go attend the class. Somebody's covering the cost. You're paying my mileage. Wow, really, thank you. I'm kind of with Teresa on this one. If we're paying for a class, you're getting the education, you know, and, you know, there's no contract that you have to stay with the township for X amount of time. You know, you take that education with you wherever you go, you're getting a benefit. I think we're putting icing, cherry, and chocolate sauce on the cake by also, you know, paying an hourly or whatever.
Because these questions would come up. I'm
That-
sure.
that is true.
And that's why I'm asking them. I'm not asking them to,
You're not advocating.
Well, we're
You know,
working on
I'm-
the policy later, so we're just approving this.
I want
conference.
to, when they come and say, well, don't I get paid? And it's like,
You're getting educated.
okay, so we just.
Got
want
your
to-
payment.
Yeah,
Okay,
all right. Brower,
yes,
Miller,
Yes.
Zelinski,
Yes.
Ward, yes, Davis.
yes.
Are you gonna do it at the early bird rate? Are you gonna get everybody signed up, or are you just gonna go at the regular rate? You approved the pay, but you didn't approve the amount.
Oh, no, it'll,
I mean, who's all going?
yeah, I'm going to the meeting on Monday. We should be,
That is true.
And
depending
if they're
on,
going to Frankenmuth, you need to do it by the.
well, they'll just all go to Gaylord.
Well, but they may not be able to all go to, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So if they're planning on traveling to Frankenmuth. you
Well-
need to make the early bird specify the 18th.
All right, I'll contact everybody tomorrow and see
Mostly this is,
if where they want to attend.
okay. you do
You're
that.
right. You're right. I guess I didn't even look at that. Good. Yeah, we didn't do a dollar amount, but I think, so I don't know. So there's also this discounted rate of 114.75 if people need the books. And I don't know if we have those books, if people
They all
want
have
those
the
books.
books.
They all have the books?
You guys should all have.
Does
the
Mike have
books.
all the books?
Mike should, but I'll take that up with
Okay.
Mike
Okay.
and see what he has. I don't know what he was given.
I don't know either.
And I definitely didn't have those books to give them, so.
Well, there you go.
So we'll look into that. We might have them in
Might
the
be in
office.
there, but I didn't.
Okay,
But we usually try to get them in at one of the reduced rates.
okay. Well, this looks like it is a reduced rate with this deal, but that, yeah, we can do that however. All right, so on to the next one, right?
So are we gonna do anything about the early bird rate? Do you need a motion?
No. We just say we're gonna pay it. I mean, somebody might decide a week before that they wanna go. Well, then they're gonna have to pay the late fee.
Yeah.
and-
Okay.
And if that's not,
But we've approved them to go, because not everybody can go at the same time.
Well,
Or something in their
think-
life changes.
I think we should make the motion that, that people get the early bird. Like, I don't think it's unreasonable to ask people to make a choice and confirm up. And of course, there's emergencies that happen. I get that. But, I think it's not too hard to ask people to pick a date in May that will work for them.
I think it's a small enough price difference that we're burning a lot of time talking about it.
I agree.
I think, you know, if you want to just cover it, say not to exceed $2,000, then it's covered.
I think we're good. I agree with Jim. It's, the price difference isn't. And if Dave calls them, then I can get them registered tomorrow too, so.
Right. I think she's just concerned about blowing money unnecessarily. So I appreciate that too.
understand that.
Yeah. So,
not only that, but when the checks come in signed, it's like you're looking at minutes trying to approve, to see what was approved. And if there's no dollar amount, I mean, you could write a check for $5,000 and.
Changing my name
all right, moving on.
Alright. So this is $250 a person, $225 if we have 4 or more. Oops. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Citizen
6-week course.
planner, yeah, from 6 to 9, starting May 1st. And then I think Mike was looking at some of these on the second page of that flyer. Some of the planning and zoning classes too. That's why I was gonna come in on Wednesday and just confirm with him which one of those he wanted to take. in.
Oh, which one of these? Cause you can take
Yes.
them individually.
Yes.
Okay. Or what does it cost individually versus the whole
Two-
time?
It's,
No, see that
oh, wait a minute, no.
This is just an
No,
explanation of
this
what
is
the
an
classes
explanation
are.
of what the classes are.
Yeah, so it's an
Yeah,
all
you
or
sign up
nothing.
for the whole thing.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, so it's like Dave said, 250 for one, and if we get 4 or more, it's 225.
Is it the same fee for the self-directed?
The self-directed,
Yeah, if there's a self-directed option,
there's an online option. It's called online. It's 45.
Oh,
that's good.
But both John and
They will,
Anastasia had issues with
they were gonna do the online,
trying to do the supplement.
and I think it's going to be the same.
This
This
is
is
MSU, but I don't see anything about self-directed.
can we look into that? Oh, wait, this is April 18th. So we don't have much time for the people to register for
There was
this.
something on here self-directed.
Thought you mentioned you saw it.
Yeah, right here.
But you can't read that.
No, that's how to register. He's talking about, this is to register for the Zoom, but there was a online one. I think I know where I read it. I read it in a monthly email from Mary. So I'll get it in touch with Mary Riley. Mary Riley for online citizen planner. I think it's the same because when Jim Weller signed up for it, he signed up for the online one through MSU and it was $250. So I think it doesn't matter.
When I took it, it's 50 for those years back.
And you also get your manual too, so.
So they do have two different deadlines. You have a April 18th deadline for part of it, and then on the back it says April 28th.
April 28th.
Oh, weird.
I don't know what the difference is they have with the rest of it.
Huh, maybe that's an mistake on it. I make a motion that we, I make a motion that we allow the planning commission and the zoning administrator to to take the citizen planner class via Zoom or via self-paced, if we can find that, for the 25, is that what it was? 250 per person.
Less than 4.
Okay, yeah, but I think we'll get 4 people, don't you, from the planning commission?
If it's self-directed, I don't think you get that.
No, I don't think so.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, I got you, okay. So for 250 per person.
Any discussion?
Reading back of it, I also gonna, recommend somebody to put in for the risk reduction grant. Because you can get that paid for, that class paid for, 1 per community member, says it right there, grant program, risk reduction grant program. May be available from a community's liability insurance. Michigan Township participating offers to its municipal members 1 per community, which covers the complete registration cost for participation in the Michigan Citizen Planner Program. We are in Michigan Township Participant Plan, and we can apply for that grant, so.
So we have to contact this Kara CC.
Yeah.
I think that's a good idea.
Well, that's for member governments of the, we
Oh.
already are a member,
Oh,
because we can apply for the risk reduction grant.
All right.
okay.
I will, well, because they're gonna want it in our minutes that I had approval to apply for the grant, because I know they want that in their other one, so let's finish
Let's do
this one.
one.
And
They
then
want a resolution.
I move that
They have it in
I move that the supervisor applies. for
Well,
this.
we gotta vote on the other table.
go ahead and roll call.
We're all trying to get out of here.
Okay, Worth, yes, Davis,
Yes.
Zelinski.
Yes.
Miller,
Yes.
Brower.
Yes.
I make a motion that we allow Dave to apply for the risk reduction grant program. And if he needs a resolution, that between him and the clerk, they work on create a resolution so that we can apply for the grant.
I second.
They used to have the resolution included with the grant application. So hopefully they still do.
Thank you.
Okay, Brower,
Yes.
Miller, yes, Zelinski,
Yes.
Worth, yes, Davis.
Yes.
Okay.
All right. We have filing cabinets.
Last meeting, I made a suggestion that because our files are such in disorder and our filing cabinet in there is broke, that we upgrade to a fire resistant since they are permanent records for the zoning administrator. So I make a motion that we.
I thought we were getting these for more than just that. For our,
Oh, we'll get to that discussion.
but if you make it just for the zoning administrator, we're stuck.
Okay, well, I guess who else needs
Did we?
a cabinet?
Well, it doesn't have to be fire safe, but those two small cabinets in there are stuffed.
What's in the cabinet in your room?
That's getting stuffed. I have all my minutes in the bottom drawer and election
Okay,
payroll
so
in the other drawer. And
just,
then,
so I'm just trying to figure out.
Yep.
So if we take all the assessor files out of the big 3 drawer, I know the top part is broken and we don't have a key to the cabinet, which is also another issue with missing
the
files.
zoning?
Yeah, but I don't know if we can get a key.
We can
Do-
get them keyed,
Get them
yes.
rekeyed,
Yes.
and if we can make that your cabinet. I mean, because the top is just really bent up, and if it's gonna be in that room where it's not, just doesn't look nice, you know what I'm saying?
Since we
I don't
don't,
know if we have room for any more cabinets.
since we don't
I
have,
know.
since we don't have a motion, but we're still having discussion, why don't we buy one, figure out if we need more space, then buy another one?
That's a
rather than
great
trying
idea.
to figure this all out right now.
Great idea.
You have two options there for the 4-drawer legal from Uline. I believe that's where we got the one in your office and the one in here. Came damaged and we had to get another one.
The
And
other one is.
From Staples.
It's like $800 cheaper.
And if you're looking at the size, the dimensions. 31 wide. So if we went with the one under Uline, it would be 4,600. It's 31 by 22 by 53. It's about the same as this.
Right, so
So you're saying the
the
U
U line is cheaper if we go with the 31 inch.
31 by 22 by
53.
53.
Mhm.
And
So
how
that's
many-
a 4-drawer, that's like this, right, okay. I think that's fine. We're not gonna order 3, so we're not gonna say how many.
Specify your color. What color do you want?
Oh,
It's not my cabinet.
Doesn't matter.
Black. You're the one bringing it up.
Huh? Yeah, how are we even gonna get, okay, I'll make a motion that we order a black, because that's mostly what's in there, isn't it?
Yeah.
Filing cabinet of the 31 by 22 by 53 inch 4-drawer cabinet. And we hire somebody to move it in here, however that costs, or, is there shipping costs on this? I'm thinking that with the weight we
might.
are.
I think I sent them.
Oh, no, well, we should look into that.
I think we sent them, Well, I know tax is taxed up, but yeah, there's gonna be shipping because it
This one
comes
has
through
free
motorcycle.
shipping. So it might be cheaper to use, pay us slightly more for the cabinet and get the free shipping than the other.
I make a motion that we spend up to $5,000
It's gotta be more
to
than
buy
that.
it. How's it gonna be more than that? This is free shipping. Yeah.
The cash. is gonna be-
5,000.
There's no tax.
There's no tax.
Oh, that's right. Sorry.
Go away. We spend up to $5,000 for a 4-drawer lateral file cabinet from either Staples or Uline.
Whichever color is Mike's choice.
There you go.
I'll second.
Okay, yeah. Good call. Good time, I'm sorry.
Go ahead, roll call.
Who seconded
I did.
that? All right, Brown,
Yes.
Miller,
Yes.
Zelinski.
Yes.
Yes. All right, Benzie County designated assessor. So the county has a assessor that they pay to be on standby in case any of the townships fail their audit. They don't have to have one if the townships vote to not require them to have one. If we were to fail our assessor audit, they would still hire an assessor to represent us in fixing all that. They just wouldn't have one on standby.
Right.
I like it.
So
Basically, that covers us so that in the off chance that we fail, we're covered.
right. I mean, we're covered either way. They just don't want to keep one
On
on the
one
payroll.
side.
Makes sense to me.
Okay.
I make a motion that we approve and Dave, it's the contract date, that
Yeah.
Dave signs the contract, agreeing that we'll get rid of the county assessor or designated
Opt out.
assessor.
Opt out.
Opt out of the designated assessor.
I second.
Doesn't cost us anything. So
Yep.
all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. Brian. All right. So estimated cost of the first brine.
We only get one.
Season. Yeah. I think it first.
I know.
Underlined in bold
Right.
is 10,943.28.
29.
29. I don't know that there's any, I'm sure they're getting the best deal on it.
I don't think we have many
Yeah.
choices.
Yeah.
So I'll make a motion that we approve. Oh,
Help make your motion first before I say something.
okay. Make a motion that we approve the 10,943.29 to the road commission to
Do the first brine.
do the first brine on all of our dirt roads.
Awesome. Leave me to it.
Go.
Why are we approving to run Hughes Road?
The one where Linda lives on that one.
It
Yeah.
is, about 6 tenths of a mile.
Miles.
Well, I have a question in with, okay, so it says your township will be responsible for 50% of this cost. So I went to several classes, back to the MTA conference, where they stressed over and over again that roads are not our responsibility at all, that they are the county road commissions. And if we choose to do roads, it should be our choice. This implies that this isn't our choice. And I'm not saying that I'm not okay with this. I'm saying that I would like a little more information. Like, is this something that we really want done? Is this something the county really wants done and are demanding us pay half of it? Because I think that's a big difference.
I think that a lot of the residents who live on the dirt roads want it. Brian.
Yes.
Yeah.
I live on a dirt road and it truly doesn't matter if it's brined or not. It's a dust ball.
Right. We
It
can,
doesn't last long at all.
we can remove roads. We do not have to approve all of these roads. We have the option to take off what we want. And you're right, we do not have to approve that, but if we don't approve to pay 50% of paving and various other things, we're not gonna get anything done, because they will not.
Is there-
I know it is their responsibility, not
It's
ours.
because I feel it's a little bit like we've all been bullied into that belief, right? Like
Mhm.
they're the county and they
Right.
should want the roads good. And I think we have to stop letting them bully us. That's just,
Is there a deadline for this?
that's what they taught us at MTA.
Well, they're gonna start mid-May.
Mid-May to early June.
And that's why we've always done just one brine, because we don't want to pay for a second brine.
Well, I mean, who else here besides Jim? Well, all three of us here live on, anybody else live on a dirt road? Do you live on a dirt road?
Used to.
And what's your thoughts? Is your road down here?
We appreciate the brine.
Keeps the dust down.
And you?
I'd say in the category of things that we do for the township, I think this is money well spent.
That's right.
Equally as our trash day, which we spend a lot more than this. I think it's a service to our community, and I think we should.
Okay.
You know, and I think we should look, you know, if we want to.
No, I was just, I seriously, I don't know how much it does, and so I'm,
Oh, it does.
and also I'm curious, well, it doesn't on my road.
It does a ton on mine, and if Linda Wilson were here, she would.
I don't, is it more traffic? Wears it out faster? I mean, I really don't know.
Well, on our hill, it's a heavy rain will wash it away, and the county's been very good at putting down stuff that isn't just gravel that's made it better, but it makes a huge difference.
I still can't get from the car wash to my house without my car being totally covered in dirt, ever.
That's not gonna change. but
I know.
still, I mean, I have more than once waited, you know, 2-3 minutes after a car's come down that I'm going up, or worse, if I've walked down to get the mail, I will wait because it's just a tunnel of dust cloud.
Okay.
It's horrible.
I'm okay. Like I said, I feel like I can't vote without having a discussion about it because I don't, that's, you know what I mean? So I don't know how important it is. I don't see how it makes a big difference on my road, but it may on others.
Well, you'll get phone calls if you don't brine.
Yeah.
Well, I know my neighbor called and complained a week after it was brined because he thought it wasn't done.
Well, in past years, like 7-8 years ago, turned out they weren't using enough brine in their brine. They had to come and redo it.
Does the brine hurt the water table at all?
No, not
Okay,
really.
just curious.
So
That's why it's this stuff, like the stuff we put on my road, cause I live on a private drive. Yeah, you wouldn't want that by a watershed.
Okay.
Mine turned into like asphalt afterwards.
That was my only question.
All right.
I'm done with the, I go down to the bird, but it's on the bird. Because only had
Because
.21.
that's Lazy Forest Trail. That's a private road. Douglas Road's only got a short section.
Okay, Brower,
yes.
Miller,
Yes.
Zelinski,
Yes.
Worth, yes, Davis.
Yes. All right, sick time leave policy.
We have to have it.
You have one?
You gotta vote first.
What was your question?
So Rose and I did talk about this today, but my reading of this last paragraph on page 1 that goes on to page 2, this out of expenses incurred by the employee to secure such documentation shall be reimbursed by the township. I read that paragraph, Rose read it differently, that means that if somebody is sick and we ask them to provide proof that we're willing to pay for their doctor's visit.
And that's not what that means.
That's how that's worded.
That's how that means. If they're off 3 days, if employees who take more than 3 days of sick time, and you require them to provide proof that they were, documentation that they were sick,
Which is documentation. They have to go to a doctor,
they have to go to a doctor, you have to pay for that.
but that's
I
not,
don't agree that that should be the policy. I don't agree at all.
Can I also say that we just paid big chunk of money to Maynard Casterison to come up with policies and procedures. We're planning on having a workshop on it. I think we should table this and put that as part of the discussion as opposed to having it be a standalone thing that we're making a decision on tonight.
Good idea.
It's not standalone. It has to be its own policy anyway, because
It's its own policy, but we're redoing the entire policies and procedures for the township. It is a standalone policy. It's different than other policies that we're gonna be approving. But I think it should be part of that discussion rather than something that it's now, we're 2 hours and 27
I agree.
minutes into a meeting. We're tired. We're not putting the thought into this that we should. We have disagreements on what even the words mean.
Is there a date that we have to have this in place that if we put it in, that we couldn't change it? I mean, is there something, I didn't hear anything at MTA that said you had to have this by such and such a date, but maybe I missed it. Did anybody hear that there has to be a special date? Okay,
I don't think anybody's gonna come up behind us and put their lights on and pull us over.
I'm not.
You're right. Manor policy updates.
So we'll table this until we have a meeting with.
Yep. So we got a recommendation on quite a few policies. And I still think all of our policies, not just the ones included in there, need to be looked at.
Agreed.
I would like to schedule a work session meeting to have us go through the policy and procedure manual.
I would like to schedule a break so I can go to my office and get my calendar.
All right, we will recess for 2 minutes.
Okay.
Reconvene at 8:30.
well, we also have
Bring a calendar.
probably give a couple dates for.
Yeah, that's in a lot of things. If you're gonna require that person to provide documentation, you have to provide, you have to cover that. It's in,
Yeah.
it's in the counties, it's in a lot of employers.
Not in any of the players I know.
This is
It's in our, it's in our.
The Earned Sick Time Act is for part-time employees,
Right.
so it has its own set of
I was saying,
stuff.
we had,
Yeah.
if we were out 3 days, we had to bring in a note from the doctor. They didn't pay my doctor.
No, they didn't do that either. No. No.
Yeah, but now with the new ESTA law,
legislation.
you read it.
Yeah.
That's what it says in the new ESTA law too.
The new laws.
I mean,
You have to cover it.
I think leave it in there or take it out. We don't have employees that call in sick days through.
Right, that's why it's so weird that we have to have.
We have to have a
Yes.
policy, yeah.
Is the fire department not covered under?
Yes,
those?
they are.
They are, but
So.
they don't have scheduled hours to call in sick too.
Right. Talking to the lawyer, she agrees that we're exempt, we don't have to follow this. Her company as a whole, because they represent multiple different places that have full-time departments and stuff, that we have to do this.
Cause your
This isn't
employees
gonna
are
be a
gonna be
motion.
accruing time.
What?
And.
Not making a
For
motion.
nothing, and you don't have, the county doesn't have to, the township doesn't have to pay that time off. But if they've accrued it, so I have over 30 hours. Say. I
He gets
can come
1
in and
hour
say,
sick time.
I get 1 hour, right, because I have 30 hours, I can come in and today and say, I'm taking an hour sick time, and you have to pay me that sick time.
If our
If I
policy,
don't use it, you don't have to pay me out.
Well, wait a minute, you're on salary. Do you get it?
yes,
Yeah.
because he's also on call.
I'm not on salary, I'm on a stipend, a monthly stipend.
But he can also, the sick time, we can, they can earn 72 hours a year and we can make the choice, and this is where we need the policy, is we have to decide if we're gonna front load the 72 hours
which is
or
ridiculous.
the other, but we have, that has to be part of the policy.
So how would any of you guys even use it? You're just gonna randomly say, I'm taking an hour off?
Yeah, they
Basically,
can.
we can do that, but it's stupid. That's why I say we're exempt from this whole ESTA thing. We shouldn't have to keep track. The lawyer agrees, but their company in a whole does not, so she has to follow what the company says. And I think that's gonna come out and all that stuff's gonna change later as they
Yeah.
keep looking at it and going through.
Well, they changed it like 3 hours before it went into effect.
Right, a lot of the lobbyists are changing.
What time was your recess?
8:28. Reconvene at 8:31. All right.
We're looking to May, right?
Well, I can do whenever.
Do Saturday.
I can do a Saturday.
I can do a Saturday afternoon. Except this coming.
Rose,
That's what I'm saying. This, I got
you
company.
wouldn't happen to know, what Saturdays are the meeting room is used, would you?
She could go grab the book.
I mean, if we do it on a Saturday.
No, not a Saturday.
I don't have.
My keys are on the desk if you need the keys to the cabinet.
I don't like that.
What's that?
I said, I don't like coming and doing nighttime workshops.
What about Wednesday?
Of what
the
day?
30th. After Easter.
But that's only if Maynard has availability.
Do we need Maynard?
Do we need them? Or are we just gonna go over the policies and then send our recommendations?
Well, I think that maybe we should do our first meeting without Manor because I think we are paying them a substantial amount of money. So I think we need to decide, because I think we can look at the current policy and procedure book and say, we need this kind of policy, we need this kind of policy, and then there's recommendations online as well, what kind of policies we should have. So we can go through them and then get their approval.
Yeah, we can put together what we think and slide in the ones from her draft. And then take the whole stack and say, what do you think? And have a meeting where they come back to us.
So what day were you thinking?
I was looking at Wednesday, the 30th.
I can do it in the afternoon,
What is afternoon? Like
after
noon?
12 o'clock.
What's that?
Yeah, that's the
It's-
school has it, but that, she said.
Oh,
They
yeah,
are, they,
Sure.
right.
Yeah,
I think they might be done early so that we could meet at Bendon.
yeah.
Brendan is being used
It's a nice day. We could meet in the park.
on April. The yoga and then
The entire day.
But just in the, yeah, just in the evening, afternoon, right?
in the afternoon,
What time?
4:30.
We'd be done by then if we started at noon.
Well, we can't start at noon because the office is open by me until 2.
You have a deputy.
But I don't know if she's available. And she could also like to attend the meeting.
Yeah, I don't, it doesn't know what I'm saying. But
Do people regularly drop in until 2?
People actually lately, yes. I don't, we never not have people stop here every day that we're here.
So what time are we thinking on Wednesday?
I'm good with 2 o'clock.
For here or for Bendon?
For here.
For here.
Pending that the school is not gonna be here. If they are gonna be here, we'll have to go to Bendon
And it'll
and be
just
done before
Well,
you
we
open.
could
2
go in the
hours.
kitchen.
We've done that before. So should we come up with a couple days in case yeah, okay.
Yeah.
2 o'clock.
Okay.
On the 30th?
Yeah, here.
We do have to make a decision on that, correct? We have to make a decision because we have to post it. Well, we're not,
It's called a special meeting, even though it's a workshop.
It's
It's
a
called
work-
a
yeah,
special
work
meeting. It falls under the 18 hours, but we'll get it up. as
we
soon
should
as
know
we get it.
within 18 hours because she already gave me this calendar for this coming week. We should know
Yeah.
within 18 hours of what the school's gonna do.
Yeah,
yeah, she said only if she had makeup people.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
So-
Is this for testing?
Yeah.
okay, so April 30th at 2 o'clock.
Plan until,
Oh, wait, I just thought of something. sorry. Isn't the zoning, what did he say was his hours on
3 to
Wednesdays?
5. He's in your office, isn't he?
Yeah, he can meet in my office, that's fine.
But he gets in here, so.
But that's okay, he can come in and out.
Coming in and out, we're not.
Right.
Okay, hall rental agreement changes.
There's,
Really quick.
yeah, just super quick. So there's just like, the original ones on the back side of this form, it just says clerk at the top right corner. Clerk is no longer doing them. Really should say deputy treasurer because she's doing it all, but it does say treasurer at, we would like to change it to treasurer at inlandtownship.org. We also would like to make some structural changes, just rearranging the things, but most importantly, there were a couple things that were changed in the rules, correct, Rosemary? She actually worked on this. Would you like to highlight them, please? Because right now I'm
So under currently down, it says, it's the responsibility of the group to make sure the township, is placed on the meeting calendar. Why do they care?
Oh, yeah, that was right. We wanted to clear that off of there.
Where is that?
They're fourth, yeah.
Down under no alcohol allowed.
Right.
Two
Just-
lines down. That needs to come out.
And also we wanted to double check with Dayton, the maximum occupancy numbers for Bendon in the meeting room.
That's what we got when we set this up.
Yeah, but when we asked him back a while ago for Euchre, it was 95 was what he had told us. Or 85. Depends on whether they have tables set up, right?
Yeah, that's the whole thing, because then it's not usable space. But because, yeah, 85 is fine.
Okay, for Bendon Hall.
Yeah, I'll measure it. but
Okay.
That's what I did tell.
And the meeting room. Okay, all right, so we would like to make those changes as well.
And then the, key must be returned to, the office, and the blue drop box is also available for their convenience.
Yeah, that's,
I mean, it's kind of wording is what we're gonna. that just
Return
needs
to the office?
Or the blue drop
Or
box.
the blue drop box for their convenience. That way they don't have to try to get in here when somebody's here.
Yeah.
Rosemary has taken it to try to pass out rules to the people so that the building's clean, more things are done. Because we've had some issues with it not being cleaned on the weekends and the people not cleaning thoroughly enough because it's been rented more on the weekend, so there's no time for cleaning to get in there. So we're trying to make sure everybody knows for certain what the rules are. And so that's why some of these changes in that.
So jog my memory, when did we stop having free for township residents? How many years ago? Do you know?
When they created this one, when the previous board created this one, this is what they decided to do.
So,
But they never changed the policy.
okay,
So the policy needs to be changed in this process of updating. I personally, I'm sorry, think that it is a good idea to keep it at least a small charge. And maybe go back to what we were saying before, if it's a nonprofit group, free at that, which we can discuss at policies, like he said. Because if you go free, it's gonna be nonstop used, and then it's,
And I think we need to really point out that that whiteboard is not to be used. Because damage can happen to that a lot. And that's not a cheap thing to replace. So somehow that,
On the contract. And I mean,
I know it is on the contract.
well, then maybe we should take it out of here if it's such a concern that it not get written on.
Well,
Move it to the fire department.
Fire department, but it's the
There
township.
for the screen.
Is that not the townships?
No, that's the fire department.
Then maybe we should move them both into the fire department.
need a new fire department first.
All right,
Are they ever used?
I'll have somebody come in and take.
No, I'm just saying, if I didn't realize they both went together. If the whiteboard is such a concern of the being written on.
Can you get like a screen that can pull down and?
No, because it uses the digitized pens to write on the whiteboard.
No, I mean, yes, but just
A screen?
A screen to pull it down to block it.
A discussion for another day.
Yeah. All right.
Okay, so I move that we approve the changes made to the rental agreement.
No second.
We didn't change the money though, right?
We're not changing any money.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed?
Nope, moving on.
Okay.
Okay,
All right.
this one's simple and fast too.
Land use permit fees.
Oh, so the fire fee, we have at the suggestion, and we talked about this when we met with Manor, is not really a legal thing for us to be charging. Permit fee can only cover the cost of obtaining a permit, not funding other areas. So I would like to remove this fire fee column from this form because it's confusing to people anyway, and the $200 that's in the fire fee be moved over to the permit fee on the multifamily dwelling line.
So
that'll go up to
added
275.
added to the 75.
Yes, because it was 75,
275.
everything else is, this is the cost and that portion goes to the fire fee. That's the only line that was different than that. So
So
that
that
one
was
needs to
your
be
motion?
corrected. That's my motion.
I'll second. And this is money.
Go ahead, roll call.
Brower,
Yeah.
Miller,
Yes.
Zelinski,
Yes.
Worth, yes, Davis.
Yes. All right, cleanup day.
How's the township going, so the township, how are they going to, they're just gonna
They'll come out of our general fund.
just come out of the general fund to replace the well and stuff, because that was what was geared for.
Yes,
that.
that would be a fire department or a township expense. It's not, it's, yeah. The permit fee is only legally allowed to cover the cost of doing that. So we worked in something that's not related to the zoning plans for that, and we can't do that. That's what Manor told us at our meetings.
Okay, that's fine. I'll contact all the other departments that do that and tell them that.
Listen, we have,
I understand, we have a lot.
every single township is doing things illegally in this county,
But I don't.
or
want them-
wrong, not necessarily illegally,
I
but
don't
wrong.
want them to do that either, so I will contact all the fire departments around. But
That's your choice.
It is cleanup day.
May
May
3rd.
third, the first Saturday, right?
Yes. What are we doing here?
We're doing fees.
Fees and there was something else. too.
The card, people, like,
Oh.
we have put out no notification for people what cleanup day is. And also, we've not discussed in years, from my understanding, from paperwork I found, and the cost continually goes up. They're charging us some kind of additional
And
fuel
we-
thing, and they never
Yeah.
have in the
Stayed at
past.
$20.
And yeah, it's always been $20, and I'm not opposed to doing it at that cost for the people. I just think it should be discussed because, I mean, part of me thinks it's a great idea. Part of me thinks we should all go take our trucks and pick up people's junk for them to get it out of the township.
And we need to no hazardous waste because we have 2 hazardous waste days too. We do not need hazardous waste.
Yeah.
It just fills up our trucks.
You mean,
People-
you mean building materials?
Building materials and hazardous
Yeah,
waste.
we don't take hazardous waste at
And
all.
televisions and
Tires.
we don't take tires.
So do we keep the fee the same, or do we just wait until next year and discuss
I
it?
think it's time to go up to at least 25 and 50.
I think going up is easy. I mean, I burned in my head was, last year is like, that's all? Man, I went to the landfill and they charged me, I think the least was 65, 80, $100 for, a pickup truck bed load, and here they have a, double axle trailer full of stuff and they thought they were getting off cheap. So I don't think it's out of line for us to bump it up a little bit.
Okay, so $25 for I think we also need to, for cars, are we doing that the same as trucks? So, and if somebody pulls up in a truck, because this was confusing to me because I never got any clear directions on this. So if somebody pulls up with the truck with a ton of things pulled in the back and a trailer, is that one charge for the $50 or is that a
Always
truck
been one
charge? Because that just doesn't, because some people come with just
One
a
bag in
trailer
the back
full.
of in the back seat.
Yeah, but they also come with the trailer and nothing in the back end. So, and I don't really care. I just want a clarification of what the process is.
How about we do 25 cars and trucks with trailers and then this year and 50 for the freaking tandem ones.
I think we do $25 car and truck and 25 or $50 for any trailer. Your
Car
thoughts?
and truck and 50 for any trailer?
Yeah, because if they come with a truck and a trailer, or even a car and a trailer, they got, right? Don't you think? Because that's
Yeah.
what they're doing.
So it costs them 75.
No, we would just charge them the $50 if they came with a truck with stuff in their truck. I mean, I don't care.
If they loaded
clear-
both, if they loaded both, charge both. If they're an empty pickup truck pulling a trailer, you just charge for the trailer.
Okay, so $50 for a trailer load. You should have seen some of those trailers.
Also,
Some of them are
Huge.
Yeah.
last year there
And-
was
and-
single axle, double axle charge. I mean, it got silly.
Right, and then, yeah.
No
Okay,
siding.
so $50 for a trailer, $25 car, truck. I'm good
Right.
with that.
Are we,
Okay.
are we going to put out a,
That was gonna be,
Postcard?
this part has to be voted.
I say, or either that or a flyer.
I'll second that.
Therese, Dave, okay. Brower,
yes?
Miller,
Yes.
Zelinski,
Yes,
Wood, yes, Davis.
Yes.
I'm just going down the line.
Yeah.
I
I
don't,
will make a motion that we send out a postcard to all of the residents.
I have the one on my computer for last year that we did, and I can just change the dates and the fees. I guess I'm willing to do that and print out labels. I just gonna look for some volunteers to help put them on postcards.
Why are you looking at me?
I'll
We
second.
can have lunch while we do it.
All
right, go ahead and roll call.
Okay, Brower.
Yeah.
Miller,
Yes.
Zelinski,
Yes.
Worth, yes, Davis.
Make sure you double check all of the, no building materials. Cause I
Yeah.
mean, we had,
Well, you can-
we had two people unloading
Siding.
siding. It took
Well,
like an hour to unload.
the thing is you just can't, I mean, if we're just sending a postcard, you have limited room, but I'll try to get on there what I can.
Small font.
All right, any other business come before the board?
Foster Swift
Memo,
from Courtney Agrusa. Yeah, the memo and the letter be addressed to the individuals who got the overpayment. This happened many years ago before my time as well, so this is the first time this has happened.
That people got overpaid.
And a letter like this had to come. I found the letter. And it tells it's gonna be done over a 6-month period.
So,
Or it can be longer, because in the case of the fire department, not everybody works a lot, so they can't do that within 6 months. So it can be extended further based on their work.
okay, so, what happens, just out of curiosity, if people refuse to sign this letter, what happens? We just,
Right.
okay.
Okay.
And is there a time frame on what they have to sign this by?
We approve it now. We'll get it out to them probably next week. I have to fill individually each one of these things out for how much and do the math, but
So for the
So-
residents, I don't know what you're talking about.
there was
I
a,
have no idea.
when we were switching over to ADP, the ESTA hours got messed up. And it ended up paying the fire department members, it's what they call preloading their sick time. So they got paid for sick time. And so we were going to recoup that money.
If I'm reading right, under this analysis paragraph, the last sentence is, if written consent has not been given, an employer may still deduct the overpayment of wages and fringe benefits from an employee's regularly scheduled wage payment, so long as the conditions are met.
Right. You have to meet the conditions so we can take them out, so.
Do we meet those conditions? I mean, sort of me really, because we just got this, so I haven't thoroughly read it.
Right, I got it late too. She
The overpayment.
got it.
If it comes to that, we'll make sure that we've met the conditions.
Well, I'm just,
But we have to,
if we can do it, that's what I'm saying, if we meet these conditions, and it's
That's-
lawful that we have to do this.
these conditions, and according to Courtney, those conditions were met. So we have to do our fiduciary duty and attempt to recoup the money.
So my question is, do we have to even get this signed?
Yes.
Okay.
But I don't know, I have to clarify if they refuse to
Part
sign
of
it.
the condition is signing.
So do we
It's
need
just a
to approve
notification.
the letter to go out to
We
the,
need to approve this, yes.
okay, I move that we approve the attorney letter regarding overpayment of wages to go to the fire department employees.
Second.
I think it should, are there anybody other than fire department
No.
that was overpaid?
No.
Well, I don't know if
No,
that-
that's what took me. Is the other people that had, it wasn't.
I just didn't want to make them feel picked on.
No.
So we said anybody overpaid.
Okay, just do this. This doesn't cost us anything to send us out, does it?
No, I got prepaid envelopes. Yeah, I already bought them.
But it does deal with salaries.
We do have to approve this with a vote, a voice vote, yes. Brower,
Yes.
Miller,
Yes.
Zelinski,
Yes.
Worth, yes, Davis.
Yes.
And I do have, two things. Do we have to get approval from the board to get our AC service before they come, before we turn it on? Or can we call somebody and service our air conditioner?
I'll get it serviced.
Is it broke?
It needs to be serviced. Our furnace and those have not been serviced in a couple of years.
Okay,
They just went through them all.
That was the year before. But I just wanted to check because I wanted to, it's air conditioned time almost. and I do that.
and also just real brief, I would like to make a motion that, for approval to purchase postcard stamps. Whatever cost it is to send one card to every household in the township.
Second.
Okay, Brower?
Yes.
Miller?
Yes.
Zelinski?
Yes.
Worth, yes, Davis?
Yes.
And one question too, can we stop renting the meeting room out Monday through Thursday? We are gonna have, planning commission is going to be having public hearings. We're having a lot of workshops and whatnot. And we are having people in the meeting room Mondays through Thursday, except for Thursday morning.
Why did we not do this when we did the form?
At least for a temporary period. I mean, it doesn't have to be forever.
I think that the system is fine. The policy is this, if somebody lets us know that they want to hold a meeting at any time, then we block that time off. So I think that there's
But
no
that
reason to
doesn't-
not continue with
That
that.
doesn't always happen. Right.
If the information is related to Rose, I find that hard to believe that.
No,
in a timely manner, that
that's
it's
not what
not.
I'm saying.
Okay.
Is that, that's not what I was referring to. It can be.
Yeah, it could be, I don't, we haven't really discussed that.
Well, we have
I'm sure
gotten,
we're gonna have probably one during the day and one evening, and, citizens.
so if you just have to make sure as soon as you know that, she knows, then we can let you know if something's already been scheduled. Because at the Bendon Hall, we've gotten pretty, well, Rosemary really has, so, because we have yoga and Zumba in the mornings, so we always ask people if they're asked, so we've told them that a rental comes above them and they can be canceled. But also we ask people, if they know they're not coming till 2:00, then we can do both. And so we now ask them that, and we sometimes rent something out more than once. So same thing if it's a planning commission, somebody, so letting us know helps keep it organized.
And we'll open public comment at 8:55.
The ESTA thing, is that being tabled for another?
The policy? Yeah. For our policy work session, we'll discuss it then.
Well, at the special meeting.
It has to be called a special meeting. No,
It's just, no, it's just a work session for us.
Yeah.
but they're called special
It's
meetings.
But it won't be approved at that meeting. We'll just be going through everything, working on our wording and stuff like that.
When is the cleanup day?
May 3rd,
Oh, do we have, I want to confirm those times.
7 to 11.
7 to 11.
I didn't put that in here.
MTA, heard somebody say we should have a Facebook page for township. The recommendation is not to, but if you do,
It's,
you put, make sure that there's no options for comments.
I did say that. And they do say that, but I disagree with that. And I think the most important thing is turn off the comments. And I know, but you know, MTA has said one thing here and another thing there in the past too. And unless, because we have honestly, and this is my opinion of that, and I do appreciate your comment because I heard that there too. But we have tried everything. We've tried a newsletter, we've sent out mailings, and we have not gained a whole lot of public here. And so to me, as long as comments are turned off, I think we should try it. I think that is where people are going.
That was also, you have a personal Facebook page, you need to get in these things. That you're not functioning as a township board member, because apparently if comments come in, they can't comment on the township Facebook page. They might come back and start commenting on that. And then the whole favoritism thing comes up.
Well, I think policies are a little outdated with MT on that because now the privacy things. Okay, but the privacy things on Facebook, like you can't even find some people anymore if you aren't a friend or send a request, right? So it's much harder. So, I mean, I understand that, but. Yeah, so if you do allow it, people may come to your own page, is what you're saying.
Any other public comment? All right, close public comment. 8:58. I will entertain a motion.
Mary moved to adjourn.
The second.
Second.
Sure.
All in favor?
Aye. At 8:59.
Yes,
Okay,
I do believe so.
Because thanks to Rose, because I had been sending emails with the incorrect address for you, and she corrected me.
Yeah.
Just want to make sure you were received.
I think you're fine. Yeah. So I do that.
Okay.
But sometimes I get it late. That's what I usually.
Okay, got it.
Because I don't know what I'm
Yeah,
doing.
well, the first time was. Address.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that copy doesn't usually always do that to
Thank
me.
you. I appreciate that.
Have you joined another committee?
Do I want to?
You're not on any committees?
Not now.
When I joined you, the program they had to be on at least one.
Well, I said that's what the old policies and procedures said.
It's still the current policy and procedures until you vote to change it.
Want your tag?
You're not doing anything.
We came back. First.
Oh.